Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-optional Podcast on the 28th of May 2015.
Yay!
Yay!
It's been so long!
It has been a while, hasn't it? It's been, what, 3 weeks since the last show? So we do apologize for that. Lots of things got in the way. You know, yesterday was the first time that I saw the surgical site that I obviously have on my body now from the surgery. Turns out there's a big hole in my stomach. That was fun. I've been avoiding looking at it for this entire time. Because they've had to, every day they have to like unpack and repack the wound so it kind of closes up on its own. Because they didn't want to stitch it or anything. And I looked at it in the mirror, I'm like, fucking hell! Like, it's just, it's like, whoa! I didn't expect that. So I've just been kind of terrified by the whole idea, but never mind. Yeah, that's mostly what's got in the way of us doing a show. And Jesse was out of the country, whoring himself out, so I've been told. Shamelessly,
True. That did happen. It did happen. All that occurred, and I had a lot of fun, so I enjoy whoring myself out.
Of course you do. Especially for money. Speaking of money, today's episode is brought to you by Crunchyroll.com/TotalBiscuit, the premium source for 1080p anime. You can sign up for a free 30-day trial at Crunchyroll.com/TotalBiscuit. There'll be an ad later in the show, but for 2 minutes we are now obligated to talk about anime.
I have never been more proud of you.
Hey, they pay well, and they're a good service. As it turns out, I was actually watching some anime on Crunchyroll last night. And
what did you watch?
I watched the first few episodes of something called World Trigger. You know, I'm picky when it comes to anime, so I've been looking for something that's sort of action-based and a bit sci-fi. That's kind of the stuff that I usually like. So I had a look at this World Trigger thing because I saw some guy with what looked like an energy sword of some description. So I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Perfect.
So the whole thing about Crunchyroll is that you can just binge on this stuff. So I just started binging on it from the beginning. And the series is still ongoing, but this is about it's set in Japan, as you might imagine, in the city which periodically gets invaded by aliens from another dimension. And they come through these holes and they come and try and kill everybody. And what happened was they set up an agency called Border in this giant-ass fucking citadel thingy, who use these things called triggers, which is alien technology to transform themselves into super badass, we're gonna kill the aliens sort of dudes. And the series focuses on a character who is apparently one of those aliens, but in human form, who has, for some inexplicable reason, been sent to Japan to go to school. Nobody knows why.
I was hoping you were going to say
But that's anime in a nutshell, isn't it? That does happen quite a lot. And he meets a trainee agent of Border. And
Is it a girl? Is it a girl? Is it an attractive anime girl?
No, it's not an attractive anime girl. No.
Is there a love story?
Not yet, anyway, as far as I can tell.
Will there be a love story?
I don't know,
Only
hopefully.
time will tell.
There is a A-rank female character who doesn't like the main character, so I guess there might be something going on there at some point, but
that's the Vegeta. Right now they're enemies, but give it 3 seasons, they will be best friends.
Yeah.
And lovers.
Just like in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird because the guy should really turn this guy in, but he ends up saving his life because apparently he's super powerful and stuff. So the arrangement is, I won't turn you in as long as you protect me, and also I will teach you about Japan because you know nothing about Japan.
Oh my gosh, it's like Go-Go Nippon, but like with
alien swords and giant fights. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
That would have made for a better game, honestly.
Yeah, that would have been a great game.
Probably would, yeah. It's got some interesting comedy moments because of the fact that he doesn't know anything about Japan, so he ends up in all these really stupid, awkward situations. But he's also like a super powerful alien who's trying to hide the fact that he's a super powerful alien, so, that's okay. Yeah, I'm enjoying that so far. Nicely animated. I like stuff with aliens and fighting and things like that. What have you been watching? Anything, Dodger? I imagine you have been.
I haven't kept up with this season very well. The season has been a little bit lackluster, except for season 2 of I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying. If you want an anime that only has like 5-minute episodes, it's literally a show about a really normal girl who starts dating a mega nerd. Well, they're married. She marries a mega nerd, and then he like talks about anime and games and shit all the time. And she's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, that's the whole show. And it's really funny. But, like,
You
it's
have
really
just
sweet at the
described
same
my
time.
marriage, just to be clear.
You should watch
So.
this show.
You need
It's
to
really
get on my
funny.
level, Boogie. I'm pretty sure my wife's nerdier than I am when it comes to that kind of stuff. There's actually like a really short anime, which I presume is probably aimed at kids, that my wife watches with my son sometimes, about this cat, Chie the cat or whatever.
Oh my gosh, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's literally like 5 minutes, and it's this
Yeah.
cat that
Yes,
just does cat
it's
things.
a little round cat, right?
Yes,
It's-
but it
oh
also
my God.
speaks. It speaks for some reason.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
I'm looking this up. How do you spell it?
It's I think I'm not sure if it's spelled. I'm pretty sure it's not spelled the same way as Persona Chie. It's Cheese Home. Apparently.
Cheese Sweet Home.
Cheese Sweet Home. Yeah,
That's
so
the
it's
name
spelled
of it.
CHIS. And they're literally 5-minute episodes of this cat doing dumb shit.
It's so cute.
Oh
that's-
my
that's it.
God. Well,
But yeah,
don't
that is
Google
adorable.
that. Don't Google that. Oh my God.
This is making my
Whoa.
heart hurt.
Nope. There is. Do not, whatever TB told you to look up, CHISE. Don't look that up, because that is a cat without a face. Don't even
what?
look that up.
No.
I'm not even joking with you. It is a real thing, and it's disgusting.
Uh-huh.
No, that was
don't do
not
that.
what I said at all. I didn't spell it out that way, but never mind.
You definitely did.
Anyway,
I'm
you
gonna
can check
just-
out that and other anime over at our sponsor for today's show, which is crunchyroll.com/TotalBiscuit. Our guest for today is, of course, the returning monster himself. His name is Boogie2988, and he's here to crush the city. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me back on.
Yep, I believe this is your second time on the show.
Yeah, I think it's been a
been a
couple
while.
years.
Like-
it's been a while.
Yeah, at least a year
Been a
since you
moment.
were last on the show. Yeah.
1984.
And I remember back when the co-optional podcast was being filmed out west during the gold rush, and we would always talk about never mind. I'm sorry.
I was
had
waiting for
something
Jesse
there.
to take
I
up
had
the
a game
gold
there.
rush thing and to see if he.
Yeah, me too.
I-
I was expecting Jesse
I was
to have a
disappointed,
comment with
honestly.
our voice.
Ah.
Boop-a-dop-de-boop-a-dop.
Yes, that's how it
There
sounds.
were no
all the time.
old gold miners in 1984, guys.
Okay, never mind. Oh man, but yeah, welcome to the show, Boogie. Of course, you've
Thank you.
been very busy lately. No doubt about that. You've been doing a great deal when it comes to either vlogging or doing your Francis character. Things seem to be going pretty well for you.
Yep, been doing a lot of Twitch now, I guess now for about 18
Sure.
months I've been Twitch as well, and doing YouTube and making videos in the middle of a controversy about obese people over there on the Reddits. It's been a lot of fun
yes.
lately.
I've been
A lot
keeping
of-
track of that. I'm like, God damn it, guys! Like, there's a very simple solution to all of this bullshit. It's like treat people like human beings, and all of this problem will go away, right?
I know, right? Like that seems like common sense, but I think
You
it's
think
not
so?
as common as it used to be, but that's okay.
Well,
Like it's
I mean,
becoming
you know,
uncommon sense.
You just got to
but-
accept, of course, that, if you hate and decry all fat people, they will automatically get thinner.
Right,
That's the
right,
way that it
exactly.
works,
That's how
right?
that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
totally.
in their defense, I did have one too many sandwiches at this point, so
Well,
they were correct.
so did I, so did Jesse. We know
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
Are there sandwiches on this podcast now?
no, where the budget
getting
doesn't stretch
sandwiches?
that far. No, I'm sorry.
Right.
Once we get paid by
here.
Crunchyroll, we might be able to afford sandwiches, but as it stands, no. Anyway, you've got yourself a swanky new office space, Jesse. Do you not have catering there?
I wish. Oh my
Oh.
God.
Your office
Dodger.
sucks.
Dodger.
Let's
Get
get
on that. Get on
catering
that.
going. Hell yeah.
Hire some caterers. Yeah, no, everything is being put together right now. So I'm on little baby Tyrion computer as I move everything in and get it set up. But with pride, Yoda with the candy bowl and his little crown is good to go.
Do you want to
You
see
can
something
come-
fun?
Oh no.
Just to be clear, the day
Here's
you
the best part.
showed off that
She's gonna try and get in. The door's locked. Wow, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean,
She was
can,
begging
can
the
you
door, like,
leave
let me
more
in.
often? That would be
The
great.
second that I put my headphones down, I was like, I wonder if he locked the door. And then turned out, damn it, curses. All right, well, it's still fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was highly entertained by that whole thing.
the day you tweeted out that candy dish, by the way, I went to Amazon to order it. And then I discovered there was a Darth Vader one, so we got that one instead.
Oh, did you get Vader?
Yeah, we got Vader instead. So.
Yeah, so then I got, like, someone sent me a crown, and so I put the crown on Yoda, and he gives you candy. Was it a loot crate? Look, someone gave it to me. I don't know who.
That would not
looks like
fit in a loot crate. Come on.
No, it's inflatable.
Oh, it's like a blow-up one. It's
okay.
That's the one YouTuber Ashens went like crazy about. Like he like spent 20 minutes just complaining about how terrible Loot Crate had gotten because of that particular item, and
that
it was
crown,
not the best.
Look
crate.
at Yoda.
I like the implication that
It's
Loot
so
Crate was
good.
somehow
That's
good
like a
before.
tattoo. That's like a tattoo you'd see on a gangsta. That is a
Yeah.
great Yoda tattoo.
I
Yoda,
love
I'm
it.
gonna get that. Yoda with the crown, serving candy.
Golden candy.
Put it right above my ass.
That-
Like, ladies.
You get a
That's-
tramp stamp of Yoda serving candy. Okay, fair enough.
With the crown. Yep.
Of course you would. Welcome to the Crunchyroll podcast. We do occasionally talk about video games. Coming up in the show, we'll be talking about the games that we've been playing this week. I've been playing tons of video games. I've had time. So I played like 15 video games. Some of them are okay too. And we'll also be covering the news, and then we'll be wrapping up the show with releases and shameless plugging. Lots and lots of shameless plugging for everything that we're doing at this point. Simple as that. Not a complex format. I'm pretty sure everyone can handle it. So why don't we start off with our guest, Boogie? What have you been playing this week?
I tried the Smite beta on Xbox One last night.
Okay.
I found that to be okay.
Did you play it on PC prior to that?
I have never played it on PC.
Okay.
So it was my
Oh,
first time experimenting with the game. And I've been kind of spoiled. If I'm playing on PC, I'm playing Heroes of the Storm these days.
Yes.
Because I love Heroes. It is so good.
It's a good game.
And for me, it takes all that complicated stuff that I just don't really feel is necessary, like in League and in Dota. It takes a lot of that out for a user like me, and then makes it more about what you do rather than what you buy or whether you get last hits. That's so important to me. And so messing around with Smite, it was kind of a culture shock moment because it's back to that for me, buying items and buying, and I don't know. It just seems laborious at this point to me. It's not as fun. I've been playing Witcher 3 on stream, which is...
Well, that's going to be the next hour of discussion between most of you. So you guys go for it. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride because I have not even loaded that game yet.
Let me just go ahead and say that it is 2015, and we have released a mostly bugless game that runs really well on PC, that had no like pre-order bonuses for like which store you purchased it from, no microtransactions built in. Yes, there's a season pass, but even if you don't get the season pass, you're getting 16 pieces of free DLC, and it's somehow 2015. This is the only AAA game that I played in the last 2 years that wasn't mined by some gimmick. It's just a game. It just feels like the whole game. I've played it now for about 20 hours. I think I've started the storyline. I'm not sure. Just incredible.
For real though,
just
right?
incredible. I finally, like, my viewers actually were getting frustrated. They're like, "You've got to do something that's related to the actual story. Could you please do that?" I'm like,
F
"Nope."
em Boogie. F em Boogie. You do what you
Exactly.
do. Have
Jesse
fun.
has made hundreds of thousands of dollars by collecting elf fruit in the fucking hinterlands. I'm pretty
Alpha
sure you can
Boogie.
pull this off.
You play how you want to play. Here's the thing I will tell everyone when they say you're not doing the main storyline. The starting area has more story in it than most major games have in their entire game. If you go see one person, their storyline and their little side quest is connected to every other little side quest happening in that zone. So everything you do relates to learning about what happened in that little area, and it's not just random BS. Every once in a while you'll find like a treasure chest just out in the middle of the woods or some monsters to kill, but 90% of the time you're finding things that are legitimately important to the world and not just, random side quest crap.
Yeah, and some of the side quests like greatly affect the main story too. So it behooves you to do them.
Yeah, as you move through the main story, you go back and you see the outcome of the things you did too. So everything you do has a point, and everything you do is a choice and consequence. So if you do stuff because you're nice, later on people might like you, but you're broke as shit because you didn't make any money. And it's fantastic. It's a fantastic game.
One of the biggest complaints, the only complaint I've heard about the game actually, is that it's a very chatty game, and it is. But one of the things that confuses me is I don't like I don't like cutscenes when the cutscenes are just there to be tagged on to just kind of try to create some cohesive glue. But with The Witcher 3, the cutscenes are half the game. And they're so well done, and it's so interesting to hear. It's so interesting to interact. I can't understand how people are like, well, I don't want to hear people talk for a while. I get that. That's not your style of game.
The voice acting is so
good. But the voice acting is so good.
It's weird to hear that about a Witcher game, considering I remember when the first Witcher game came out, the voice acting was so bad they had to release an enhanced edition to fix that and redo all the voice acting because it was just, it was not good.
Can I get TB, the footage you just used? Was that from my Let's Play?
Yes, that was you literally wandering around a room for 5 minutes, putting out all the candles.
For those who are curious,
that would be suitable considering what we were talking about there.
I had a theory when playing this game. When you first start, Yennefer's all like, "Let me put my face on." He's like, "You're the only woman I know who does that before, right?" And my theory was, what if I turn out all the candles? Can I then get laid? Because she doesn't have to put her face on because it's dark. It didn't work out, but it was a good theory. That's why I was doing that in the episode. So that's why I did those things. Yeah, no, but here's the thing. They put stuff like that in the game where you don't think it'll do something, and then it does. So when you discover it, you're like, what else did I miss? So I had this moment of like, maybe. Just maybe.
Gotta try it, man. Gotta try it.
The best thing they added to the game is Gwent. Can we agree that Gwent is just absurd?
Beat a single fucking game of Gwent. I can't understand that game for the goddamn life of me.
Have you seen the posts that are being made that are basically like Gwent is better than Hearthstone, like a better card game? Like, people are like, it's crazy that this card game came out and it also came with the video game too. Like, the posts are amazing. It's really fun. I am awful at it too. Don't worry.
Really good.
I'm very bad at it, but I'm also bad at every other card game.
Well, after 20 years of Magic the Gathering, if I wasn't good at Gwent, I would just end my gaming career today, to be honest with you.
I don't understand it. I can't grasp it. I don't know.
It's a card game that you play.
Yeah.
If you enjoy,
I hadn't understood that part.
You're welcome. If you enjoyed let's see, if you enjoyed things like all the Final Fantasy card games, like in Final Fantasy VIII, and all those little like bonus things. Oh yeah, but if you enjoy stuff like that as a mini game, you'll love this because
to this day, Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite Final Fantasy, and it was because of that card game.
Because of Triple Triad.
I loved the card game in VIII.
Triad was great.
It was so good. But Gwent has one of my favorite little Easter eggs in a video game ever. Very minor spoiler here, but one of the cards is like one of the low power minions or whatever. It's a melee unit called Poor Fucking Infantry. And it was like, I laughed for 10 minutes when I first saw that. It's brilliant. That is such a good name. Yeah. But with The Witcher, it's good. It's good. It's real good.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest complaints that I've heard really have been about the graphics, but I think the game is beautiful, even if some people are like, it's not quite beautiful enough for me. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's gorgeous to me. So
graphically, I think the problem was, and this is, I think, kind of funny, and again, when Witcher 2 came out, they had equal graphics problems. When you go high end in the Witcher games, that's when things are like, let's make everything as crazy as possible looking. And so it always becomes a problem. And so for myself and a few other people who have like supercomputers built to play a game like this, when you jack everything up and you max everything out, something's super broke. Like the hair, because the hair has its own little physicsy thing.
Yeah, it's called NVIDIA Hairworks. There was some controversy about that because they were saying, oh, well, Hairworks is making the game run badly on AMD cards. No, it's running badly on everything. Like,
right, exactly.
It's really ridiculous.
I thought it was not able to stream the game for the first 10 minutes of trying to play
you've really got
until
to turn
somebody
that off.
just said, just turn it off. And I'm running a 970 and I had to turn it off. So
yeah, there's a bunch of other settings. I got to the point where I was freaking out because in the middle of cutscenes, the game would just shut down. Like, it would just crash on me every time.
Oh yeah, it launched and it was crashing for a lot of people initially, wasn't it? Like, they patched it pretty quick, but it was not working on launch, not properly.
I'll give them all the credit in the world, though. In a week, they went from from 1.0 to 1.04 in a week, and we're like, here, we fixed everything, go play. And so far, it's working great. But I contacted the guys and was like, what? How do I fix this? and they sent me a big list of things to just turn off, and I was like, oh, all right, done, and it works fine now. So it's definitely one of those things where if you are playing on medium or low settings, you won't ever have a problem because you'll never have those features. If you're playing on high, you may, and if you're playing on ultra, you probably bugged out like everyone else. And it's just because CD Projekt loves to make things as crazy beautiful as they can, which also, if you remember Witcher 2, destroyed people's graphics cards. Like, graphics cards caught on fire.
Yeah, if you had Uber sampling on, basically, you could not play that game. It's that simple. You had to have that option off.
I mean, they made that game look phenomenal. I'm running it on high, not ultra, because I'm playing it while exclusively while streaming, and it runs very well. And high looks amazing. But I've even seen the Xbox One version of the game, and whereas it's even at 900p scaled up, it still looks amazing there. I mean, they pushed every piece of hardware to as far as they could go, and it just what a beautifully drawn game. And I know there's the whole controversy of the downgrade between the trade show trailers versus what eventually came out, and like a lot of people compared it to Watch Dogs, right? Which had similar
the Watch
things.
Dogs downgrade. I mean,
but the reality of it is, when you take that controversy and apply it to Watch Dogs, you're left with Watch Dogs, which is a lukewarm game at best. And when you apply that controversy to Witcher 3 and you boil it down, you have Witcher 3, which may not look as good as the trade show trailers did, but it plays better than you could have ever imagined a game to play. So a lot of people call dual standard on that because I love The Witcher, but I was mad at Watch Dogs. But it really, to me, comes down to the game. It's always about the game. It's the game. It's the game. It's the game. And the game is amazing. It's amazing.
Yep. This cat hates me. It's no doubt. It just doesn't like me.
Which one is that?
This is the smaller one. This is Freya. And she'll kind of sit on my shoulder sometimes like a parrot, as demonstrated, but really she just wants to go mess shit up. Please don't. There you go. Off you go. She sat in the sink last night with running water and just kind of battered at the water for like 20 minutes for no reason.
Watson does that. The second that I start running a sink, she will run from wherever she is in the house and just be like, "Oh my God, are you running water right now?" And just like sit in the sink and just like.
Yes. But then get mad when it gets on her face. It's like, it's you who's doing this. Like,
yeah, if I get it on her face or on like her hind legs, she's like, nope, I don't want this anymore.
They had a bath yesterday, and they actually were totally fine with it. Apparently, Bengal cats are pretty much okay with it. They're not really concerned too much with. Apparently the other one's coming in as well. All right. So they're not too concerned with that. But anyway, kind of back to the Witcher downgrade thing. I mean, this is definitely a downgrade of the Witcher 3, this one right here. But, you know, it's still kind of understandable that people would be upset about it. And I think it kind of demonstrates a problem with the industry at the moment, that for some reason, the early versions of the games are looking better, not worse, than the final version. Which is really backwards. Like, that's not really how it should be.
Well,
but we have so much of that. Like, we've had so many games come out where the vertical slice and the kind of demo gameplay from E3 or whatever ends up not being as good as Witcher 3.
But isn't the majority of the reasons for that? Like, God, I'm going to be that guy. Isn't it basically like console-based issues?
Oh, God, why?
Like, isn't that what it comes down to in the end? The fact that everything they're making is on their own. Like, when you see it at cons or whatever, you're seeing it on a PC, and then in order to get it on console, they have to just downgrade everything.
Yeah, the problem is, though, that people, and that's a lot of what the downgrade is apparently all about, because consoles couldn't handle it. But I'm not running on a console, so I shouldn't give a fuck about the limitations of a console, right? Like, why downgrade it for everybody? Why downgrade it? You know, there's this term called console parity, which I fucking hate. It's like, look, I didn't buy a fucking console to play these games. I bought a PC to play them. Why should I get punished because people run on consoles?
Well, for me, if we're gonna talk about that, if graphics have to be adjusted somehow, that's fine. If you were gonna make it so that my use of keyboard and mouse is severely stunted because you need it to match up with a controller, that's when I start having big problems.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's all I've grown up on mouse and keyboard. I was using mouse. I went from NES to mouse and keyboard, and then back with the PlayStation 2 to a controller. I guess the PlayStation 1. But my preferred method is always mouse and keyboard. And when the control scheme does not work on mouse and keyboard, you've lost me entirely.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll make an exception for fighting game, obviously. But beyond that, yeah, it's the most frustrating thing in the world.
For me, it's platformers. It's always way easier for me to play platformers on a controller. But like any other game, I will want to play on a keyboard.
Keyboard and mouse, yeah. I mean, for me, it's just like racing games on a controller. And in some cases, platformers. But outside of that, yeah, I'll want to play keyboard and mouse pretty much all the time. But the parity thing is bullshit. I really don't like the fact that happened. And I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start calling games out that pull this shit as basically false advertising. Because, look, if you build the hype of your game off footage which isn't representative of the final product, you don't just get away with that by disclaiming it. Like, it's like, oh, it's not representative of the final product. Yeah, but it looked way, way better than the final product. So you built a pre-order, you know, if pre-order culture didn't exist, I wouldn't care as much about this. But it does, and people push pre-orders all the fucking time. And that means you are pre-selling copies of a game based on footage which isn't real. And that, to me, is bullshit. That's false advertising. You shouldn't be doing it. And it doesn't matter if it's a fucking PC darling like CD Projekt or if it's Ubisoft pulling that shit. Don't pull that shit. You know, the best thing that you can do is to understate in your pre-release stuff and then surprise people, you know?
Right.
Don't raise expectations to the fucking high heavens and then disappoint people.
To me, after having played Game Dev Tycoon, I wonder why it's not just a prerequisite to have to play Game Dev Tycoon to be a game dev. Because they teach you these really important lessons about like overhype and how it affects sales figures. And the game is, I mean, it's really smart when it teaches you to be very mild when you are first hyping your game. You want a little bit of a hype. You don't want to oversell it, otherwise it all blows up in your face. How that's just not game press 101. I just don't understand. Like, yeah, that's not PR 101.
Well, it's just the way that things work now. Like, everything is pushed 2 years. Every major AAA game is pushed 2 years before it comes out. They show this vertical slice, which is not what the final game looks like at all. And they start pre-ordering like 2 years in advance. That's why they do it, because they want to sell pre-orders.
Yeah. I think though, based at least on my audience, I can say anecdotally that I think people are beginning to get burnt enough to where they're not even pre-ordering anymore. And I think I read an article a couple weeks back that Australians are pre-ordering less. So if we can get that to catch on everywhere, that would be great. Because I tried to explain with Mortal Kombat X, like somebody's like, well, you pre-ordered Mortal Kombat X. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the franchise. But if you really look at it, if Mortal Kombat X had turned out to be terrible, which it didn't.
Which it did on PC. It was a fucking disaster.
The PC version was a nightmare. That's right.
Yeah.
But I got it for PlayStation 4 because I knew it was a game I wasn't going to stream. I knew I was just going to play it with my friends. Wanted it in living room co-op, you know. And I pre-ordered that game and then been disappointed by the game. What did I get? I got a $5 pre-order character. So I would rather spend an extra $5 on the release version of the game once I know it's good, rather than gamble $60 in the hopes to get $5 for free and then waste that entire $60. It's just common sense at that point. You're either out $60 or you're out $5. You're only out $5 if you pre-order and the game is good. You're out $60 if you pre-order and the game is bad.
It's a stupid gamble. It's a stupid gamble that the house wins every fucking time.
Exactly. And the worst part about it is, like when I was growing up, you know, I'm an old man. I'm sitting here at 40. So when I was growing up, hype for a video game, you'd read about it in Nintendo Magazine. You'd rush out and get it the day one. The chances of me seeing a review, which would be published in a magazine 10 days following the release of the game, was impossible. These days, you can watch somebody stream it often a day or two before the game is even released. You can see YouTube videos a day or two before the game is even released. You don't even have to hear somebody's subjective review of the game. You can just watch the game yourself and know whether or not it appeals to you. It's so bizarre that we're so eager, you know. But I think people are wising up to it.
Do you not feel like sometimes hype isn't entirely the game company's fault? That sometimes it's our fault.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're definitely, I mean, we are, for some reason, we are still in that culture of, this is going to be my fucking game of the year, man.
Yes,
and we're like, you haven't
amazing.
even touched
You haven't touched it. You haven't touched
even touched it yet.
Also,
like, we are part of the problem, for sure.
Yes.
Devil's advocate here. I am going to say that the idea that people are less, like, pre-ordering less is completely false. I feel like, if anything, they're doing it more. And just as a great example, I love this. Right now, weeks to launch, not available. Total pre-orders for Halo 5, 205,000 at number 1. And then a little further down the list, Kingdom Hearts 3, not available. No one knows when that's coming out. Pre-orders already at 102,000 pre-orders. So, Uncharted 4, not available. No one knows. 83,000 pre-orders. Arkham Knight, as of March 28th, 10 weeks to launch. On Xbox One, 94,000. On PS4, 198,000. Like, these are games that don't, like, there's some of these are so far out. Metal Gear Solid 5, 133,000 total pre-orders as of March 28th.
That sounds like a lot, but you've got to bear in mind those games are going to be selling millions each. So that's actually a fairly small percentage. According to a trade magazine in the UK, they also believe that pre-orders are down in the UK as well. I don't know if it's representative in the US. It's also a bit weird because I have to wonder if they have digital numbers. Like, do they probably don't have access to Steam's numbers, I would think. So, as a result, it's really hard to judge whether or not pre-ordering is actually down. All I know for sure is that I see fucking pre-ordered games in the top sellers list on Steam constantly. And it's weird because, especially on PC, you are taking a stupid risk doing that. I mean, Mortal Kombat 10 was like number 1 at one point, and everyone who pre-ordered that got burned because even if you didn't get the bug where it didn't download the whole game so it was unplayable, the netcode was so shoddily done that it was basically unplayable online. So, God, I mean, people just keep going back to the fire and sticking their hand in.
And I know a lot of people in chat were saying that the reason why their pre-order bonuses is because pre-orders are decreasing. That's wrong. The reason why pre-orders bonuses exist is because Xbox paid the company to get it a little bit early, and as a result, they got a few extra thingies thrown into it.
Yeah,
and
I mean, GameStop pulls that shit as well. They actually, like, throw money at the thing to get something exclusive. And the problem is a lot of this content is being locked behind paywall. Someone brought up the example, apparently Harley Quinn is a pre-order bonus. Like, you want to play as Harley Quinn in Arkham Knight, you've got to pre-order the fucking game. Which, is again, is a big fuck you. Like, anyone that does that, this is not the first time they've pulled that either. Like, Warner Brothers is notorious for this sort of thing. If I recall correctly, wasn't it Arkham City that put Catwoman behind a pre-order paywall as well?
Yes.
Ugh.
It's so frustrating because I want to be excited about Arkham Knight, but these kinds of policies make me not want to be excited about Arkham Knight, because if I'm excited about it and I talk about it on stream, if I talk about it on YouTube, other people get excited, and then I'm basically recommending them a game that has a base price of $100. Well, because the season pass for this game is $40 on top of a $60 game.
That's ridiculous. Like, that's...
No, I mean, like, here's the thing, though, is what you're asking people, again, devil's advocate, what you're asking people is to decide between getting that content and never having access to it. And most people would rather take the chance and get Catwoman or Harley, in this case, than never
incidentally,
have
the
that.
Catwoman thing was wrong. It was like, that was when they were doing the whole, if you buy used games, you don't get it. It was the online pass system that used to exist. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Which is a bit different.
That's right.
Which, by the way, I'm still okay with. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of used games, and as a PC gamer, I've never really been concerned with it anyway, but hey.
Right.
Anyway, continue.
But, the idea is that most people psychologically would choose the idea of getting something over not getting it. And so they were like, well, I'm on the edge about this game. Oh, but I get free crap, which, again, is all part of the reason they're marketing it to you. There are people that make a ton of money to figure out how to get you to buy their stuff. And in this case, your options are get it or don't get it. And most times people will say, I want it. And that's how, I mean...
But that's putting your consumer over the barrel, right? I mean, that's
Of course it is.
Yes,
like
that's exactly what that is.
But if they
Yes.
keep accepting it, then why wouldn't you keep doing it? Like, people keep pre-ordering this shit. It just infuriates me because we see so many big like posts on things like Reddit. It's like, stop pre-ordering, don't pre-order video games. And then as soon as the latest and greatest comes onto the pre-order list, it's instantly fucking number one. So, I mean, I guess it's either a lot of people who claim they're going to do that and then get easily taken in, or it really just comes down to the fact that places like Reddit are a serious vocal minority and the vast majority of gamers don't give a fuck about any of that stuff and just pre-order the game anyway because they get whisked away on the hype train, which again would be fine if people were honest about their video games, and it gets right back to the point that if you're advertising it with false footage and you're selling pre-orders, as far as I'm concerned, that's false advertising. That's a consumer rights issue. That should entitle people to a refund. If it doesn't, that would be a great way of keeping developers honest. If there was an actual law in place that said, look, anything you show prior to this game coming out, the game better be up to that standard at least. And if it's not, your consumer's entitled to a fucking refund. That would be good. But fat chance of that ever happening.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
No, especially not in America.
Years.
I mean, Europe maybe, but in America, fuck no. Oh well. Yeah. Anyway, what else have we been playing this week? Jesse, what have you been up to?
Oh man, honestly, I haven't played much except for Witcher. I love that game, and I mean, I did play Total War, but it's completely shameless to talk about it, so I will. Total War Arena.
You were paid for this, by the way. Just making people know that.
Yeah. But I mean, Total War Arena's. I had a ton of fun. I think it's a game that has a lot of issues it needs to work out, and that cavalry are invincible. But yeah, it's fun. I would definitely say that when you can actually play it and it's out of alpha, play it. Try it out. It's
going to be a free-to-play game, right?
Yeah. Maybe. I'm not sure about that.
I can't imagine they're going to sell a multiplayer-only Total War. That doesn't seem likely. It's more likely it's a free-to-play.
It's a 10v10 Total War battle.
You control like 3 units each, right?
Yes, and you have generals like Julius Caesar and Alexander the Great and a bunch of historical generals from that early period of. I'm trying to figure out what period that would be, like Greece and ancient Rome kind of period. And you control these different units, and so you have everything from hoplites to cavalrymen to archers to all sorts of things. You upgrade them. Think of it like the like the War Games franchises, like all those things where as you play, you're leveling up your character, and so the more time you put into it, but then you can also buy special units that don't affect your actual progress. They're like a special thing. So like in World of Tanks, there's like super tanks that you can buy, but it actually, besides being fun, might actually hurt you long term to actually have bought them. Because
well, I mean, if it's anything like War Thunder, the tanks that you can actually buy as premium are generally actually not that great.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like that where you can buy them, and for a moment you're tactically better. You're like a little bit better, but as time goes on, everyone else who's upgrading and playing normally will eventually surpass what you've bought. So it was fun, and I had a team of guys, and we got destroyed in the first 6 games completely, and then strategically we realized what the other team was doing and came back and won the next ones, and it was great. So I had a fun time. I like stuff like that. I'm a huge fan of Total War, Civilization, like all those games, but those are the games that I play in my free time, and not that I rarely ever, you've seen me play with Krendor when I played Civilization. If you watch that stream, like those are games that take a long time to play and have a lot of moments of silence. They're never really great for putting on YouTube or whatever, but those are my babies when I have fun. So I'm really excited for this. I like things like this where you can there's so many people playing and the map's huge and you're battling it out, and those were some of my first games I ever played. We're strategical war sims, so this is right up my alley.
It's a weird thing because we're seeing some kind of revival of RTS, but it's done. I think they're doing it in a way to sort of try and compete with League of Legends and things like that, where they're like, oh, well, people love RTS, but it's too complicated. So what if we just let you control a few units? There was a game that I played in beta called Victory Command, which I believe is working its way through to full release. And it was like that. It's like, yeah, there's like 4-on-4, and you control a few units each. I found it dull as dishwater. I mean, this wasn't early beta, so maybe it's got better later, but it's like, oh, I get to move 2 tanks around and shoot and occasionally press an ability. This is really fucking boring.
Yeah, like, I keep wondering if that's going to be an issue. Like, people trying to develop games in a certain style, but way more accessible to the point where the people who liked the genre originally really hate your game.
Yes, very much so.
And I figure as long as people are still making the complex form of that genre, it's fine. But if the really simplified one is the one that blows up and gets really big because it's so much more accessible, then like, is it doing a disservice to the genre? I've wondered that before.
I'd say so. Well, admittedly, like, the problem with RTS is that there just aren't that many RTS out right now, and I think that's why when you see a game like that come out, it's kind of upsetting, because like, this could have been a full fucking RTS, and you decided to make it really dumb.
Can I just ask, where is Warcraft 4? Like, I've been waiting on that game for a decade now.
Good luck,
It's not coming out for a while. You know that. Like,
Keep waiting.
Like Blizzard
has found out that free-to-play is a good way to make money. So, they're going to just do that for a while. Everyone's hyped up about Overwatch.
Yeah, they still got StarCraft 2 Part 3.
Yes,
so
that's coming out.
See Warcraft
probably like towards the end of the year, most likely.
It's so disappointing because I guess it's a decade now that I've been waiting on Warcraft 4. I love the Warcraft series, grew up on it. But I need that game to happen soon, please.
Maybe as WoW continues to decline, we might see that.
Oh yeah. No, I will say, speaking of complexity, I think the Total War guys didn't shy away from that when they built their game, because there's something we learned while playing, and that is all normal war tactics from Total War still exist. So fighting on slopes and from above, and using the terrain, and more importantly, the different units. Like, if your guys have shields, if you attack on their shield side, if the enemy has shields, you'll do less damage than if you hit them from the other side. So you do have to know normal battle tactics from Total War, which I think is like sort of the saving grace of the game, where it isn't just like horse beats sword, spear beats horse. Like, it doesn't work that way. It takes into account what general you have, what abilities the general has. Some people have different things, and I think that really works well for it. So hopefully that'll turn out great. From what I've played, even before they threw me some bones, I enjoyed it. So I talked about it on the podcast months ago, and TV was like, I don't know about that. So his opinion still hasn't changed. That's good. But
good to know we're all consistent.
Yeah, we're all very consistent on this podcast. So I don't know. That's all I played. I didn't do much. I've been moving stuff. So,
Dodger, what have you been playing this week?
Played the new part of Life is Strange. That game is getting bonkers. Like,
it had a very Twin Peaks vibe to it, even when it started. Now apparently it's going crazy, right?
Yeah, oh man. Yeah, I really liked this last chapter that I played. So,
can I ask you a question about it?
Go for it.
So I was talking with one of the devs at an event for that game, and he mentioned that some of the really small, unimportant things that you do in part 1 really affect the game as time goes on. And I'm curious, have you experienced any of that? Because I haven't played it yet, so I don't know. But he was like, there's major events, because he showed a big chart, and it had literally in one scene.
I want to see it so bad.
It had
Except not because it would ruin stuff, but.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but it was like in one scene from episode 1. One scene. It was like this massive flowchart with like a million things on it. And by the end, it had like 360 possible outcomes for that one scene. And I was like, I want to know what, because he was saying he was hyping it up. And I feel like it was just hype. Like, it seemed like, oh yeah, no, there's a million outcomes. Like, is there a million outcomes though? Like, where are you, like, do you have that experience?
I think stuff comes up more often than I think it will. Like, sometimes, yeah, for sure, there have been things that I've done that have come up later on, and I'm like, oh, oops. Or like, even if it's something small, like sometimes you'll interact with a character, and if you interact with them enough and learn enough about them, you can do like oddly manipulative things because but spoiler, game's about time travel in case anybody watching doesn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, you learn that about 5 minutes into part 1.
Yeah, so like sometimes you can talk to a person, find out something about them, and then back up and go to talk to them again and be like, hey, I heard about this thing. Are you doing okay? And they're like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. You knew. Oh my gosh. Right. And like, it goes from being an antagonistic conversation to being a conversation where they're like, oh my gosh, you care. Right. Like it's this weird manipulative thing that you can do with interactions with other people. And then you'll like, it'll be something small. Like you'll get a text message from that person being like, hey, it was really nice that, that you came to talk to me the other day. And you're like, oh shit. That person thinks we're friends now, right? Like it's like weird little things like that. But there's so many things to look at and so much stuff that does wind up being important for you to remember. And I am not a memory person, my goodness. So I've had some difficult situations with that. But
do you
like,
think that's a problem with like the release schedule of a game like this? That it asks you to remember things that happened previously?
Right. I think that is a difficult part of it for sure. But at the same time, it sort of feels like you're watching a TV show. Like it's so dramatic, right? It's definitely a drama. So it feels kind of like you finish an episode and then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the next one to see what happens. Well, I mean,
that's how
next,
episodic gaming should be, right? And we've seen quite a bit of that with Telltale as well.
For sure. So there always winds up being things that you don't remember, but they don't like important things. They don't make you remember things that are gonna like severely affect the game between episodes. I don't think that's happened yet. So like if you have to make a choice based on something that you find earlier on in that episode, that's more likely to happen than like, oh God, I can't remember that thing from the very beginning of the game, right? Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, speaking of Telltale, how would you rate this comparatively to Telltale right now? Like any of their games that have gone? Because honestly, like I was super hyped for the Game of Thrones game. Yeah. It's sort of fallen off my radar. Like I just stopped caring. I was like, I just don't really care that much.
The main problem with Telltale is that they found a formula that works and they are repeating it ad nauseum. And as a result, I have a feeling.
Big problem, I think.
I have a feeling that's pissing people off. And it's also the last few Telltale games have had the problem where they've pretended like your choices matter and they actually really don't. I mean, I think it started with like the first Walking Dead, and then a lot of the games like surrounding that sort of had the same problem, whereby it's like, oh, well, this is going to make a really big difference, and it ends up just not. It all kind of ends up being exactly the same, regardless of what you did.
I mean, the way that they play is similar. I don't know. How would I compare it like to something like Wolf Among Us? Wolf Among Us felt much more like a visual novel than Life is Strange does to me. I feel like I'm much more actively involved in what's going on than I did in Telltale games, but I mean, you still have to walk around and find stuff and learn things, and so I don't know. I feel more invested in Life is Strange though, because I feel like my actions matter a lot. So, but what do I know? I'm really bad at the game, says my entire comment section.
And that's like, annoying because you can't be so bad at a game like that. Like you can't. There's no such thing as being bad at a game like that. You make choices and the story continues, unless you literally die.
Because in Life is Strange, you have to remember how the mechanic works, right? Like you have to remember things like, okay, if I pick something up and then I go back in time, I still have that item. Or like, okay, if I walk into a place in the future and then go back in time, I'll still be in that place, but in the past. Like there are things like that you have to remember. So there have been so many puzzles where I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? And then I remember, oh, I need to walk into that room, get in trouble, and then go back in time and be in that room while it's still locked. Like things like that, where just like it doesn't dawn on me until I've been wandering around for a few minutes going, oh, that's right, I can fucking time travel. It's just, it's an interesting, there are interesting levels to that mechanic that you have to remember.
I mean,
and like the manipulation thing as well, like I was talking about before.
You do have to keep in mind the people who say like, oh, you're doing it wrong, have either one, already done that, or two, already watched someone else play it.
So watch somebody else do it, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Right.
I mean, like, you can't say that to someone. You're doing it for the first time. Like, I've done this before. Trust me, you're doing it wrong. I'm telling you after the fact. What? Just stop. Just cut it out, internet.
Yeah, the stakes in that game are getting higher and higher, and it's the end of this last episode was bonkers. It was so good. So
I keep wanting to make time to play that game, and you're definitely making me want to play it now.
How are you with TV shows based on young adult novels? Like how are the Divergent movies for you, or like the Teen Wolf TV show? Like
Love
shit
it.
like that. If you're okay with that stuff, then the dialogue in this game you'll be totally cool with. But anybody who's looking for something that's written like really, I don't want to say really well, but it's just got that style of like a young adult novel or a young adult TV show. You know, everything is super dramatic. People are super assholes to each other for no reason. You know, like, yeah.
Oh no,
Is there a
now
mean
that
girl?
sounds great.
Well, even in part 1, like, my impression was everyone's a brat. You know, they really are incredibly bratty.
Like, oh, I'm in Oregon going to an art school, and everybody's like, it's just like, God, I hate these people.
Not
I hate
so
everybody in
real,
this
though.
game.
An Oregon art school, that sounds real.
Yeah.
It is
Like a
real.
real place.
Welcome
Anything
to
else?
my whole life up into my 20s. Yeah. I mean, I played Witcher 3. I played a visual novel called Love at First Sight, which is about falling in love with a Cyclops girl.
Of course it
real
is.
good.
Why
It's
not?
actually like oddly cute. It's really sweet in a weird way. But like the whole game I was sitting there going, she's gonna murder me at the end of this. Like that's just what I've come to expect from this shit. So I was just like, this is too sweet. It's gonna go wrong. But it's just like a really short, sweet visual novel where you find a sad little Cyclops girl at school and you fall in love with her, and it's really cute. I finally played Gravity Ghost.
It's a good
That
game.
game is
Very
I'm
good game.
bad at that too. I remember when Jesse was talking about it, and Jesse was like, I guess I'm pretty good at Gravity Ghost. Everybody was saying I'm like pretty good at it, and I was like, all right, let's see if I'm good at it. I'm
Yes,
not.
I watched your stream, and
not
I can
good
officially say
at
that you're
Gravity
not.
Ghost.
No, I'm not either. I got to admit, like I can get stuck on a level for like 10 to 20 minutes just because I keep
Just gotta let
missing
it
the
go.
goddamn gravity
Yeah.
slaying over and over and over again.
Yeah,
Just let
like
it go, man. Don't try to conquer gravity. Let gravity be. And
What
just
the
be
hell
part
is
of
this game? I'm looking
I
at
just need to
the
get
trailer.
the fucking star, man. All I want is the fucking star, and that goddamn
Gravity Ghost
planet
is
keeps
great.
coming all up
Yeah,
in
this
my
game looks
business and grabbing me
great.
with its gravity.
yeah. It's
It's-
cute.
It's really cute. Yeah.
Also, can I point out that we have now officially pimped out 3 Ashley Birch games? Do we have any more that we want to talk about? Because at this point, we did Mortal Kombat, we did Gravity Ghost, and we did Life is
Ashley
Strange.
Birch was in Mortal Kombat?
She's Cassie Cage.
Oh, really? Huh.
Oh.
Didn't know that.
I didn't know that till I saw the credits. I was like, what the shit?
Yeah, she's
So
doing a lot
I-
of VO work lately.
I just
Yeah,
have to
man.
say, I love the new crop of characters in Mortal Kombat X. I love
Yes.
the next gen feel like they're handing the mantle to the new characters.
Mhm.
I
That's good.
can't. It's so good. I can't get over that game. I thought it was gonna be one of those games that I played like every other like nine. I played like 10 hours of 9, and I was like, all right, I've seen the fatalities. I'm done. I don't really care. The living towers and everything else. The new characters. I don't know. They did such a good job with that game.
They wrapped it. I think the last 3 hours of that game is the best send-off wrap-up of like, goodbye, old characters. Hello,
Mhm.
new world. See you in Mortal Kombat 11. I was like, yes, I'm in. I can't wait to play new things. So fantastic.
They had to move it
Fantastic.
along a little bit, like because they've been focusing so much on the story of Mortal Kombat, as opposed to like Street Fighter, where they really don't give a fuck about the story, so they just bring the same characters back over and over again. It's important that they move things along because, especially Mortal Kombat 9 already rehashed 1, 2, and 3. You really can't keep doing that shit. Like you've got to bring some new blood in there at some point, and thankfully they did.
I love the little like blurbs they'll do while they're fighting too, like especially the new character. Somebody in your chat just actually mentioned Cassie Cage would say "get up to get down" or whatever, and like those little like the fresh or even like Johnny Cage is making fun of his daughter or making fun of characters, to be like #loser, or just that modern feel to the game.
I like the fact
feels
that
like
if you go into a mirror match, each character has like 3 different lines for expressing their surprise that they just ran into someone else that looked exactly like them. And they make up in-game reasons for it. It's like, who is this apparition? It's like, no, I am the real blah, blah, blah. And each character has like 3 different lines for that. I watched a YouTube video which was 20 minutes of nothing but those lines. It's like, wow, they came up with a lot of shit for this game. That's actually kind of impressive.
There is, when Johnny Cage meets Cassie, he will say to her, "Wow, what a beautiful girl you are, like your mother," because that's obviously his daughter. And then she'll say something back, and he'll say, "I'll try not to touch the face." Now, why that line is brilliant is because one of Johnny Cage's fatalities is to beat your face into the ground until it disappears. And so there's like an animated gif of that floating around where he says, "I'll try not to touch your face," and then fatality.
There are some lines that don't make a lot of sense, like it's because I'll try to touch your face. You're about to stab her through the fucking heart, like
right, exactly.
It's like, why are they fighting and murdering each other? You know?
No, he's a star. He gets it. Protect the 8x10 at all costs.
I love Johnny's tattoos. I think every little detail they added to these characters this time is so great. It's so great. And I think the things that they did with Injustice, story mode wise, transferred over into this game and made it even better. Like, I think everything they learned from Injustice works phenomenally here. And they didn't overdo it with QuickTime. Oh my God. They saved us from pointless QuickTime events. Like, it was great. I still think it's a little weird to be in the epic scene, go up against the guy, beat him once, then it'd be like round 2, and it's like, okay, fine. It's a little weird, but I don't care because I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I finally got around to beating that like 2 weeks ago, and I was going to talk about it on the podcast. I was so excited, but now I can. Oh, it was great. It's a great game.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Predator's the next character out. I'm looking forward to Predator.
Oh shit, I forgot about Predator.
Yeah.
I hope they give him Jason, I'm going to say it. Jason is a letdown. Like, as a character, just everything about Jason's a letdown. I'm a little disappointed. Hopefully Predator's a badass.
Jason became my main, actually, because Slasher Jason has like a 2-hit 24% combo. Like it's like, I don't know, it's a low kick, slash him in the air.
Pay to win, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, right, exactly. Well, actually, there's a better like 2-hit combo with the Sun God, whatever his name is, and I don't like that character very much. And I'm not capable of, I don't know, my old brain, I guess, but I'm not capable of memorizing. That's why I couldn't play Killer Instinct. Like, I could just not get into the new Killer Instinct.
The nice thing about Killer Instinct is its tutorial mode is really good. Unfortunately, Mortal Kombat 10, it does not have a good tutorial at all. Like, it's a big compared to a lot of recent games like Skullgirls and Killer Instinct and Guilty Gear Xrd. It's a real letdown in that respect. So you literally have to go on the internet and watch YouTube videos to learn combos, which is, frankly, an outdated way of doing things.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's actually time for a break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about plenty more games. And if you guys don't have any, I've got like 15. So we've got plenty of things to go. You are watching the Co-op Show podcast. Here is a word from our sponsors. Do not go anywhere. Oh, thank God. Dodger, I need your help.
Oh, do you need money?
No.
First aid?
No.
Extensive training in the art of Bushido?
Well, probably at some point, but not right now. Listen, I have this big pub quiz coming up, and I'm almost certain it will be entirely anime-themed.
Oh, which pub is this?
Doesn't matter. Bartenders are gnomes, owners might be a giant talking cat, beer's good, nice atmosphere. The point is, I know nothing about anime. I need a crash course.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to cover, but have you taken a look at Crunchyroll?
I'm fairly sure Crunchyroll was on the lunch menu.
No. Crunchyroll is the destination for the most authentic anime experience that you can find outside of Japan. You can sign up for a 30-day free trial at crunchyroll.com/TotalBiscuit to check out great shows like I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying. Oh, it's about a girl who's married to a mega nerd and rarely knows what he's rambling about, but they love each other a lot and it's super cute. Or even Durarara 2. That's gotten a lot of attention too, since it's the sequel to a really successful anime about an internet-based gang and the kind of chaotic mess that unfolds around it.
Somehow, I feel more confused than when I started.
Then how about we make it even worse with the show Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, in which the main character attempts to farm a dungeon for items and wealth, but he just ends up getting saved by a powerful swordswoman. He spends most of his time just trying to earn her respect and affection, honestly.
And somehow I feel like I know even less than I did before.
Look, just try out Crunchyroll Premium right now with 30 days free at crunchyroll.com/TotalBiscuit and enjoy all the anime that your brain can handle, ad-free in 1080p.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Are we supposed to be doing that now?
I did miss
Saying
a
hi,
game.
I mean, I guess. Sure.
I did miss a game that I played this week that I meant to mention.
All right.
I am playing. Are you ready for this? EverQuest.
What, as in the original?
Right now, what they've done is it's the original EverQuest. There's a thing called Project 1999. That's not what I'm playing.
Okay.
They have like emulated the game and tried to go back to the previous service. Well, every once in a while they'll launch progression servers for the actual company, which is now used to be Sony Online Entertainment, is now Daybreak Entertainment, and they've just launched a new one named Ragefire. And you have to pay the $15 a month to get their all access pass, which gives you like perks in all their different games. But the perk in EverQuest is you can play on this rollback server, and it's just the base content currently that was released in 1999. And this is a game that I played for a year, like a year of playtime. So I did that over the weekend, and now I think I'm never playing any other video game ever again. So see you guys in hell. Goodbye.
Why are you willing to go back? Like I have tried to go back to original EverQuest, like 1999 version, and I literally want to just punch myself in the face because I like new change EverQuest. Like old school is too old school for me.
Like I want to play
like,
EverQuest next.
EverQuest.
But this... No, go ahead, daughter.
All I was gonna say, EverQuest is the no life MMO. Like it's one of those MMOs where it was like you cannot have a life other than EverQuest, and if you do, you will fall the fuck behind. I was just oh god, but it was so fun.
What I liked about EverQuest, and this is really what I want to talk about. EverQuest came along at a time when it was pretty much just the first graphical mud, really. I mean, I guess there was Ultima Online as well, and like Mirrodin 69, I don't remember, Mirrodin 52, whatever the game was called. But EverQuest basically just drops you in a newbie field with like a couple of spells memorized or a sword, and then just goes, here's the game, go do the stuff, go do whatever.
Yep.
And you have to forge your own adventure. And then World of Warcraft came along, and they hired up all those people that played EverQuest religiously, and they're like, design as a game. And they came up with the theme park idea. You know, go to this guy, he'll tell you to go to this area, he'll tell you to kill this thing, to go to this next guy, to go to this next area, to kill this next thing, to do the next thing. And next thing you know, you're rating and you're max level, and it just leads you by the hand. And so the reason I wanted to go back to EverQuest was to re-experience, even though I know what to do, I wanted to re-experience forging a frontier out of nothing. And I wish, my biggest wish is that that's what EverQuest Next will be, or some MMO out there will just be like, here's a world, create your own adventure. Like that's why I went back. And also the nostalgia everywhere. Like I'm walking through the Kinos sewers and I'm like, I know exactly where the Rat King spawns. I know exactly how to turn in his head. I know it's exactly why I want to do all of this and how to do it. I recreated my original character with the same name and tried to make it from Hollis to Freeport. And like tears are spawning down my face. And I have this friend who
spawning down your face.
Spawning, yes. But like I got to high pass hold, and like my best friend of like since I was like 3 years old, she met her husband in high pass hold, and like I'm walking through that area, and she just like recently is having some health issues and things, and I'm just like, the world that we created there. Like I can't tell you. I've never known anybody got married through World of Warcraft. I'm sure there are people, but I can think of really. I did not know it.
I met my wife at BlizzCon, if that counts.
That's amazing. That is amazing. But I can think of a dozen people that I know personally whose marriages either began or ended. More ended because of EverQuest than began.
Oh no.
But still. But yeah, it's weird going back.
But EverQuest was that game. For those of you who don't know, EverQuest was that game where if you wanted the cool piece of loot, you waited with a giant group of other people for 14 hours for one spawn in the middle, and like you fought to the death for that one thing. And it was an insane. I don't think clusterfuck is nice enough of a word. Like it was the craziest thing you can imagine.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made it fun, but it still was the most difficult thing to learn when like if you had friends who were playing, they were like, oh, it's super easy, and you log in, you're like, I don't know what is happening. And it was an experience. You'll never get that again.
Never
like,
again.
That will never exist on the internet again, because it was like the first big, I guess Ultima, but it was like the first big internet game where everyone was involved in this world, and it was crazy pants. It was a lot of fun.
I camped J-boots, which were these boots that activated in your inventory. There's no run in the game, really. So the only way to get speed is getting a buff called Spirit of the Wolf by either Shaman or Druid.
Yes.
And
Please.
Right. If you got these J-boots, it would give you like a minor version of that. And as a warrior, I couldn't teleport. I couldn't do anything. J-boots are the most important things in the world. So they have made an announcement that they're removing them from the game because of how crowded the zone is, how everybody has to have the item, and how it devalues the spell for shamans and druids. And so for 48 hours, I waited in line on the Prexis server to get J-boots, and I got them about 4 hours before the servers came down to patch them out.
Fuck.
Yeah. I'll never get them again. That's so weird, man. Just the memories that came from that game. That game was probably the most influential game on me, easily. And I guess since I spent an entire year of playtime, that makes sense. But still, yeah. You can't go home though. That's what's sad. It just doesn't feel the same. You know, you never go home.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. That is the most apt thing to ever express about MMOs and life ever. Like, once you move on, it's the same thing with me with Final Fantasy XI. Like, I played that forever, and then I moved on and went back a year later to try it out, and it was like, man, it's just not what it used to be. Like, I remember and loved this game, and I just haven't. Oh, well. It's a little heartbreaking.
Yeah. Not that I didn't play World of Warcraft for a solid year of my life as well. I mean, like, I don't know what my playtime is over there, but man, that game too. But since I walked away from World of Warcraft, I cannot play an MMO to save my life. I cannot get into one at all, period. You know?
I'm with you. That's why every time Dodger's happy about Final Fantasy 14, I get mad. I think I get physically mad that she's happy about it, because I'm like, MMOs suck. I'm done with MMOs. And she's like, I had so much fun today. I'm like, I hate you. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to know life that game and that
game looks really good
before Heavensward comes out. I really like it.
I'll do it with you, because I may or may not have played Heavensward.
I know.
And Fat Chocobo's so fat and cute, and I just want to ride Fat Chocobo. I just want to ride Fat Chocobo forever. He's so cute. You have to put a little piece of food in front of him to get him to move. He's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, Fat Chocobo. All right, I'm in. Fuck it, I'm in.
Yeah.
I did buy that game, and I did get to like level 5 or 6 before I was just like, it really did look like it was going to be good. And I really just could not, I was afraid to dive into it, because when I know life, I mean, I have no life. I mean, that's it. Like, EverQuest was an experience. I was 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day, 20 hours a day, 48-hour camping sessions.
Because like I moved my computer from my house to here, so when I go home and I'm like chilling, which is the time when I would be playing that game, I'm like, I have nothing to play it on. So
we can stream it from the office together before the launch. Easy, done.
Okay,
plus
cool.
you'll have to power level me.
You need to be power leveled though. That's like, damn it. Oh, you should just join the FC. They'll help you out. They're good people.
Or you could power level me because that would be better.
Okay.
Don't give in to him. He's just
You're
demanding
lucky
free
I love
work.
You, Jesse. But look, TV for me, it's so worth it to have months go by of Jesse being like, "That game's garbage," and now to have him come to me and say,
"Oh my God,
you
Fat
could, like,
Chocobo,
power level
though."
me, that would be great."
Okay, so here's what's actually happening. This is the long con that Jesse's been putting on here. He's been saying this for months to convince you to power level a fucking character for him just to prove him wrong. You're a sucker and you know it. Don't be tricked by his wily ways.
But I want him to play it.
Fat TB.
He could buy his own fucking character.
TB, have you ridden Fat Chocobo? Oh my God, he's so cute, and he just goes when he. Oh, I love him so much. All I'm saying is,
I'm not convinced somehow.
And then feed one of them way too much so that he becomes Fat Chocobo, and then I can ride him in real life. Thank you. Get on that, Square
Thanks,
Enix.
universe.
Oh my God.
I'm with you, by the way. I did not know there was a Fat Chocobo, and now
oh my God,
I'm reinstalling right now.
Have you looked up?
Oh my God, you guys with your
cute.
fat acceptance bullshit. God, we don't want to hear about any of this stuff. I came to your channel to watch funny Francis videos, not to hear you talk about things. Fuck you. Don't you know it's the fans that keep your channel alive? Don't you know you have to listen to every single one of us?
Yeah. That is my favorite part, by the way. I tried to explain that the other night on stream. But
Good luck.
If you're reading your YouTube comments and you're reading your Twitter comments and you're reading like the Reddit posts and you're reading like all the things that people are saying about you, you feel like a schizophrenic who's having a nervous breakdown.
Yes, because it's coming from everywhere and they're all
and it's
different.
Always contradictory, right? It's like,
yeah,
we need more Francis video, no more Francis videos. You need to do this, you need to do that. Where's the gameplay? Why do you focus so much on Twitch? Why are there less videos? Why are there more videos? Why don't you do this? It's insane. It's completely insane. Yes.
Well, what did I know about anything? I dived.
I am pro Fat Chocobo. Bring it on!
God damn it! You're ruining America. What the hell's wrong with you?
Don't shame Fat Chocobo. Fat Chocobo is big and beautiful, and I love you, Fat Chocobo.
Is it healthy in any size?
I love you, Fat Chocobo. You're so cute.
Well, at least it's getting exercise, which is more than I can say for any of us fuckers. Oh God! I dived into your comment section.
There's a DDR machine in this office. Hey.
You'll be swole in no time, no doubt. You'll get rid of those fat thighs of yours.
So yoked. No, I'm keeping the thighs. They're just going to be all muscle instead of fat. Same size.
Chun-Li. I went into your comment section, Boogie, and I just regret it so much. What annoyed me more than anything is there was this fucker, and I'm going to call him a fucker, that has like 100,000 subs, who was like one of the upvoted guys, basically demanding you do different stuff. I'm like, you are a YouTuber. You should know how fucking annoying that is, you piece of shit. Like, how the hell do you think it's okay to dive into someone else's comment section and demand someone do something different? Unbelievable. I went off on that guy, and I'm like, I was snarky as fuck. I'm going to admit, it's like, since you're a small channel, let me give you some advice. I'm just like, catty, meow, meow. Fuck you. God damn that guy. It's like, he should know better. Like, he should know better than that.
Like, for the longest time, I used to do, I mean, TV, you know this. Back in the day, I used to cover, like, do what I called serious video a week, in which I talked about, like, real stuff, like, health issues.
You've been vlogging for years. Like, why are people like, oh, stop vlogging? It's like, you've been doing it for like 5 fucking years now.
Like, that's exactly the cornerstone. And so the sketches were a bonus. The gaming commentary, that was a bonus. And for the last year, I kind of scaled back on doing that. I kind of like scared of my own comments. They got into my head for a while, where people are like telling you, I don't want to see this stuff. No, but me and my wife sat down and talked about it the other day, and I talked about that initial video that I made that ended up getting trended on Reddit, and she's like, I think it's some of your best work yet. I think it's exactly what you need to do.
I watched it. It's a good video.
Thank you so much. So I'm like, honey, I really think this needs to be a series. I want to talk about being fat in gaming. I want to talk a little bit about Tess Holiday. I want to talk a little bit about a few other topics which are going to be shown in the next couple of weeks. And she's like, I think it's important work. I think it's really good. But what people don't realize is that for every bad comment that I get from this, for every guy who tells me, hey, you're, go kill yourself, you're whatever, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I will get a half dozen or a dozen letters from somebody saying, you know, Boogie, you really started making me take my health serious. And because of you, I've lost 20 pounds, 40 pounds, 100 pounds, 6. One guy, 400 pounds because of a video I made 2 years ago. And, you know, I wasn't able to achieve that same success yet, but he certainly has. And the fact that he did that, I've talked people into getting weight loss surgery when it was correct for them. I've helped people. And then even more importantly to me, people who are in the process of figuring out who and what they are and learning to actually care enough about themselves to make changes, getting to a point where they can accept themselves for who and what they are and not loathe themselves the way other people on the internet will do. And
people
so when
that
I
loathe
hear
themselves aren't really into self-improvement, I've noticed. Like, it just doesn't really work that way.
Right. And so you hear these letters like, Boogie, you know, when I see your success, that's my success too, because I'm a big person. And I know that if you can succeed, I can succeed. And then the next thing you know, that guy's writing me a year later going, got the dream job, got the girl, lost 50 pounds, super happy. And it's the best feeling in the world. And I lost that for a while. And so I don't plan to lose that anytime again soon. And people, I'll still make the sketches. I'm still doing the gaming commentary. But I think that's my most important work. And during the summer, my views always dip down anyway. So it doesn't really matter what I create over the summer that much, as long as I'm happy with it. Well, and at the end of the day, that's what my YouTube channel has to be. If I'm not excited about the content I'm creating,
then you'll create shit. It's that simple.
Bingo.
Like, you got no passion for it. That's why, like, if you're a fan of a channel, you should not be telling people what to do and telling them, like, you've got to do what I want you to do. Because if you squeeze the passion out of somebody, they're going to make crappy stuff, and then you're not going to want to watch it anyway. And more to the point, it's always amusing to find people that leave comments like, oh, no one wants to see this shit on a thing that's got almost 1 million views in, like, 3 days. Yeah. It's like, how arrogant do you have to be? How stupid and ignorant do you have to be to say that? Well, it's like, these 800,000 people are wrong. I know what I'm doing. Like, no, you don't. Fuck off. Like, we won't even notice if you're gone. Come on. And I'm not allowed to say that publicly because it's highly offensive. Oh my god. Oh no.
I mean, at the end of the day, and I say at the end of every video, I get a lot of shit for this. But at the end of every video, I will say thank you very much for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you soon. And I had another YouTuber tell me that the reason I said that is because, you know, I don't love the individual. I love the fact that they've made me famous. And there's some minor truth that I can't argue with that.
So you're not even allowed to say thank you at the end of a video. So apparently that's not okay now either. All right.
That's why I tell people to fuck off at the end of mine.
Fuck you!
Fuck off,
Give me money.
I'm out. I should do that in all my vlogs.
Contiguous meatbags, thanks for the views.
Fuck off, internet.
But like, what I mean is obviously, yes, I do love what has come from the fandom and the appreciation and the kindness and the fan letters and all this. Of course, obviously you guys have saved my mental state. That's inarguable. But what I do mean is that if I could, I am that guy. If I could individually shake every hand, this is why I went to VidCon last year. It's why I go to trade shows. It's to meet.
Same reason we all
people.
do. I think we all go to meet people there.
You know, because I genuinely do love you as a person to the best of my ability. Do I love you the way I love my wife? No. Clearly,
because I don't know. I don't even know your name. Come on, you know.
Right, but there's a genuine admiration for the people. Jesse, I love you. You know that.
Oh, good. As much as your wife? Is that what?
As much
Internet,
as my
it's
wife.
Confirmed. It's confirmed.
OTP, I think is the term or something. I don't know.
Bogox.
What? Oh, okay.
Coogie.
All right, that just sounded so stupid that my
Coxie?
brain couldn't process it for a moment there.
Coxie?
Cookie.
Cookies. I did it all for the cookie.
No.
Worst
No.
ship ever.
Blame it on the cookie. Don't blame it on the good times. Oh my god, no. Yeah. Long story short, watch what you like, don't watch what you don't like, and quit fucking whining. It'll make your life a lot nicer, trust me.
I agree.
So
I have to say that the internet, you know, okay, this is definitely going to date me. I remember if you wanted to communicate with another human being on this planet, you had to write a letter.
You had to put some effort into it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say ASL.
Fair point.
AIM? You were talking about before AIM?
Right, I'm like, you had to
back in the mists and the dark ages.
back when I was a youngster in the 70s. No, seriously, like, you had to write a letter. If you wanted to get your message into the world, you had to appeal to the local news company or the local paper or place an ad to say anything you wanted to say. Now, today, we have the awesome capacity to self-publish. You can create independent games. You can create independent music, independent videos. You can tweet to thousands of people. You can put yourself into the world as much as you humanly possibly can. And some of us do decent things with it. Some of us do mediocre things with it. And some of us are just write shit with it. Like some of us just want to use that power to just shit on everything we can. And it's mind-boggling to me because I thought when I was a kid, if I could speak to the world, what would I do with that? And turns out this is what I would do with it. Like what I'm doing now, I guess, which is bitching incessantly about my personal life, I guess. But it's never occurred to me to just take something someone's created and just literally shit all over it. Unless it's like a poorly made video game that ran me $60. That's a different story.
Well, I think there's a difference between shitting on something that you paid a decent amount of money for than shitting on something that's free. It's like it's free. Like, are you really that concerned that you have to write something so fucking horrible about a free video on the internet? Probably not. And how you probably had a bad day, or you're feeling bad. You're projecting your insecurities on other people, and that's kind of sad, really. It just, it's more. It makes me pity them a little bit when I see people do that. Just a little bit. They're mostly fuckers, but just a bit.
From my perspective, to the younger audience that's out there, if you guys give a crap, you live in our dream time. Like my generation's, like, we dreamt of giving or having what you guys have now. That cell phone, that tiny computer in your pocket, the gaming consoles, the gaming PCs.
Well, it's some Star Trek shit going on right now.
Right. It's everything Gene Roddenberry imagined and more. And so, like, use it well and use it wisely and appreciate it, because I do every day. I'm like walking through life going, holy shit, I have a computer as powerful as NASA on the day they landed on the moon in my pocket.
Far more powerful, yeah.
And I'm using it to fucking play Crazy Kings and shit. Like, but still.
This is the death of the human race right here.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, we're all screwed. Yeah. We're all screwed.
We took our technology and we squandered it. We're all dead now. We stand no chance if the aliens invade. I just want to point that out.
Oh, the aliens pass us by every time. They're like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't want to be associated with that. I might capture something. Ugh.
Pull out space binoculars and are like,
are they still playing Candy Crush?
Idiots.
Yep. Are they still in the Candy Crush thing? Yup. Okay, we'll come back in another 200 years, see if they've sorted this shit out by then. It's like, where's your fucking warp drive, idiots? I could just see them doing a drive-by and just like, look at them normies, and then just fucking flying off.
No, man. Have any of you sat in a Tesla yet?
No, but I would like to.
If you sit in the passenger seat of a Tesla when it goes from like 0 to who fucking knows, you feel like you're in warp drive. Yeah, you're just like that was immediate. The second that we started speeding up, I was like, oh my god.
Yes, I'm lusting after a Tesla. I can't even drive yet, and I'm still lusting after a Tesla.
Oh, they're so cool looking.
I will finally get my driver's license.
Man, that's all you need.
Anyway, video games.
Confirmed, Dodger has people drive her around in a Tesla.
That's how it is, right? Okay,
1% Dodger.
Fucking fancy bullshit. All right, video games. Yeah. So I played like 15 fucking video games. Like, instead, I wasn't a slacker like you guys. I actually played some stuff.
Uh-huh.
I won't necessarily cover the stuff I've done on the channel already, but I have made a decision. I want a JRPG for a while. Like, I thought I'm gonna JRPG. I'm gonna JRPG for a while, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna set up a bunch of stuff in my bedroom with the projector, like all my old consoles and stuff. So I've been rewiring everything, getting everything set up. So I've got like the PS3 in there, and the 360, and my laptop that are all kind of plugged into the projector now through an HDMI switcher, and they're all into an audio setup and everything. I thought, right, what are the best JRPGs that I can get for these consoles? And I pretty much got all the ones for the PS3, it turns out. Like, there's Ni no Kuni and the Kingdom Hearts games, and that's kind of about it. And then there's a bunch of stuff like by NCIS and Xseed and stuff. And then there's a few things for the Xbox, like there's Lost Odyssey, which I never played. So I ordered that, and Tales of Vesperia, which I didn't play. So I was looking to try and get that as well. Fuck the Final Fantasy 13 games, though. I'm not interested in that. But I also picked up not Xenoblade, sorry. What the hell's the name of it? Odin Sphere. For which is the PS2 game, but you can play it on PS3 now. Download it off the PlayStation Network. I've come to a conclusion. Kingdom Hearts is a pain in the ass, and I don't like it. And I think the reason I don't like it is because the camera is a fucking nightmare. Oh my god, is it
Wait,
bad.
are you playing Kingdom Hearts 1?
Yeah, the Kingdom Hearts 1.5
right.
HD, the PS3 version. I got 1.5 and 2.5. So they're the kind of remastered ones for the PS3. The fucking camera is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I can't deal with it. It's just... I got into the first area, which is this island, and you've got to do a bunch of stuff on this island. And wrangling this camera is basically half the game. And I can't stand it. I absolutely cannot stand it. It pisses me off. And I tried for like an hour just to play this game, and I just like, no. I can't.
Have you tried 2.5?
Well, I didn't want to play Kingdom Hearts 2 until I played Kingdom Hearts 1.
I will definitely say they improved it between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. But you're right, Kingdom Hearts 1 camera is janky.
It's horrible.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did
Can I play?
Though.
Can I play Kingdom Hearts 2 and like not really miss anything, or what?
Let me tell you something. As a person who has played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, you'll be so fucking confused going into Kingdom Hearts 2 that it won't matter what you did in Kingdom Hearts 1. Because there's so many games in between that you have to play all the little shitty games to get to Kingdom Hearts 2. Really? Play Kingdom Hearts 2 and it won't matter. You'll be like, I guess I got the story either way, whether you beat the first one or not.
But even then, like the major story elements of the first one are pretty basic, I think.
Oh yeah. Bad guy makes bad things, and then Disney and Final Fantasy characters.
Isn't there also the problem that the first 4 hours of Kingdom Hearts 2 are a bunch of fucking fetch quests? That's what I've been told.
And also you're not playing as the main hero,
Are
you're
they?
playing as someone else. Yes.
Right, yeah, it's really boring, the first bit of that game.
I might just
then you
skip
get
out
to
on
fight
those
Roxas.
I
entirely.
remember the beginning of that game.
Then you get to fight Roxas, and he's the character everyone loves.
Yeah, he's so cool.
And then and it's a character that when you fight him, it's like, thank God we have. Hold on, let me know my Roxas voice. Thank God we have all his backstory together. And then you're like, what? Who the fuck are you? Why are you? Thank God you probably should have played the other 4 games before this sequel came out.
Yeah. God damn.
Square Enix, you sons of bitches.
I'm really looking forward to 3. And I still don't know have they confirmed like what worlds are going to be in it? Because they have the access to Star Wars.
There's basically
and
almost
Marvel
no
now.
information on 3, right?
Boogie,
Right.
Can I tell you something right now? This is what, look, we all as the collective internet need to either channel, I don't know, we need to like psychically connect to the people making the game and let them know we need a battle featuring Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, Cloud and Sephiroth, and
Iron Man and Captain America.
Captain America Red Skull. That'd be awesome. And then Sora and the bad guy of the game all in one battle. That would break the world. The world would collapse in on itself, and it'd be the single greatest event in video gaming. It would be awesome. All with One Wing Angel in the background. One Wing Angel!
Yes!
One Wing Angel! Wait, hold on. One Wing Angel remixed with the Imperial March in the fucking background. Holy shit. Done.
And then a train comes in and you get to suplex it right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Goofy
That's
just
the only way
suplexes a train because
That's the only way you can kill Darth Vader is by suplexing a train on him. Done. Oh,
That's an all is forgiven
ever.
Square Enix moment, that, isn't it?
Man,
Yeah, so I've abandoned my Kingdom Hearts thing for the time being, and I'm waiting for my copy of Tales of Vesperia to arrive. In the meantime, playing Odin Sphere, and I mean, I do have a Tales of Xillia as well for the PS3. I could probably play that, but I'm told Vesperia is better, so I might just wait for that. We'll see. But yeah, I'm eventually gonna start my JRPG binge. I might just go back to Ni no Kuni. I probably should. Like, I abandoned that game way too early. I should probably go back to that, but I've forgotten everything about that game now, so I should probably just start again.
I bought that game after hearing how good it is, and then it's just set there in the plastic because I haven't had time to play a JRPG.
Yeah.
Because if I play one of those games, like it's the reason I didn't really spend a lot of time with the latest Dragon Age or whatever, It's because if I'm going to play it, I need to be able to just
I didn't
play
miss
it.
anything, trust me.
And that's why I like told my stream, I'm like, look, this is now a Witcher 3 stream for the foreseeable future because this is the only game I want to think about.
JP is telling me that Tales of Xillia is super fan servicey. Okay, I won't play that then. Vesperia sounds like a better idea. I'll just play that one.
Man, Ni no Kuni is so good, but it's a game that takes literally 4 hours to get started. Like the intro plus all the like story elements, getting it put together is about 4 hours of gameplay time. And then it's like, okay, and now you can play RPG Pokemon, which is what it is.
Yes.
But it's so fun. It's RPG Pokemon. It's so cool. And you can run around collecting monsters and have the monsters fight each other. It's great.
Fair enough. Yeah, so outside of that, so I've been messing around a little bit with Odin Sphere. I'm starting to get into that, which is good. I mean, I've been wanting to play some of the other Vanillaware stuff anyway, after playing Dragon's Crown, which was fantastic. So I'm looking at that. I mean, I've also played Muramasa, the Demon Blade on Vita, which is a really good game too. So we'll see how that one goes. Outside of that, bunch of stuff on PC. God, I've been playing a lot on PC, actually. So I did, obviously I played everything that's been on my channel this week. I played Carmageddon, which is pretty good, except for the fact that it runs like absolute shit. So until they fix that.
That's a game I was really, really looking forward to.
It's a fun game. Like, there's nothing like Carmageddon these days. The thing is that you might as well just play the old games because it's pretty much the same. Like, if you can deal with the old graphics from the 90s. But outside of that, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone until they fix the performance. It runs like absolute dog shit. It's really, really bad. That's a shame because the game's actually kind of fun. Some people are like, I don't see what he sees in this game. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, there's no other game like it. It's a racing game with a really open world with some very loose objectives. Like, I love the way that it's like, well, you can race or you can steal people's laps by killing them, which is really cool. It's like, oh, this guy's doing really well with the racing game. I'm just gonna mash him into a wall and steal his lap. Like, I don't even have to race. I can run around the level, running over pedestrians for maximum points, collecting upgrade tokens and stuff like that, and getting stupid-ass power-ups, and then blowing people up. It's actually really fun, just like the other Carmageddon games were in that respect. And there's no other game like that. That's why it's an interesting game. But the problem is, it runs like arse, and it looks like a game from 2003. And that's being generous. So you might want to just pick up the originals on GOG, like Carmageddon 1 and 2 are incredible. Plus, Carmageddon 2 had half the soundtrack was by Iron Maiden, so it was fucking awesome. So it's well worth doing that. Yeah, it was so good. What else did I play? I've been playing Not a Hero, which is a side-scroller. That game is fucking funny. The writing in that game, and apparently some of the writing is randomly generated, I'm told. Which is even better. The writing is hilarious. Like, I mean, I'm not such a fan of the gameplay. It's a sort of speedrunning side-scroller shooter kind of thing with optional objectives.
Hard. It's difficult.
It's really difficult. I run into a brick wall on the difficulty. Like, I'm on the level where one of the objectives is meet the reporters in 60 seconds for a press conference in the middle of the level. To actually get there is really hard, and I keep dying over and over and over again. So the main problem with that game is it currently has a bug where, for some people, the game like drops to about 45 FPS, and the problem is it slows the game down. So it's really inconsistent. Now, some people have fixed this by, if you quit Chrome and Skype, for some people it fixes it. But outside of that, I tried that and it hasn't worked. So for the first few days, the game worked fine. Then they patched it and broke it. So I'm waiting for them to fix it before I do anything about that. Which is a shame, because I like the writing is just genius. The main character who you play, the weird premise of the game is that Bunny Lord is trying to become mayor. The way he's going to do that is by hiring mercenaries to literally murder all of the criminals in the city. And in the meantime, he's holding press conferences and acting like he's a totally reasonable person, but he's a complete fucking psychopath. And he holds like a team meeting at the start of every episode in the game, and he's got like flowcharts and everything, and the dialogue is fucking hilarious, constantly hilarious.
If you want to on the next break, if you want to actually see this game, go to the Steam page for it. Watch the trailer. The trailer will give you an indication of what the game's like. It's really funny,
bonkers,
and it pretty much describes how insane it is. It's a great game.
Yeah, it is bonkers. But right now, again, performance. So until they've put a post up that said they're putting up a new build to fix it, but it's taking its time. So we'll see. What else did I play? I've been playing Star Ruler 2, which is a 4X game, or a Space 4X. Not sure what to think about that game yet, because it's really, really different to most Space 4Xs. It uses a bunch of very weird systems that are kind of not that well explained in the tutorial. So the way that the game works is you take a lot of planets in this game, and planets kind of feed other planets. So you have a bunch of, like, tier 0 planets that are just exporting food and water to your bigger planets that then grow up in power. And a lot of the micromanagement is kind of dealt with itself. Like, they'll build their own cities, they'll build their own industry, as long as you feed them with, like, the resources they need. And you've got a ship design system which has an unlimited size slider. Like, you can make a ship that's, like, the size of the fucking galaxy, effectively.
What?
It's weird. Like, it doesn't seem like there's a limit on the size of the ships you can build in that game. There's, like, this weird ship design system. There's a diplomacy system which is kind of based on cards, where you spend influence to buy cards, and then the Galactic Senate kind of debates on issues, and you play cards like, I'm going to bribe this person, I'm going to negotiate this, I'm going to attach a rider to this bill so that I gain influence for the next one, and all sorts of bonkers stuff. And the way that the fleet design works is you have a capital ship and a bunch of support ships. And you could have like 200, 300 more support ships around a capital ship. And there's these huge battles with just lasers going off everywhere. And there's a fucking pirate ship that comes through the level and shoots at you. And also, it's very, very weird. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to grasp exactly what's going on in Star Ruler 2 sometimes. But I'm trying to cause I think there's a really good game under there. I'm just trying, if I can't figure out what the systems are and how some of the mechanics work, I am really, really confused.
What do all of the X's stand for? Explore, expand?
Explore, expand, exploit, exterminate. That's the 4 X's. And you can do all of those things. You can, like, run around the galaxy and find, like, ancient technology which you can take control of and all sorts of things like that. It seems good. From what I can tell, it seems like a really good 4X, and I like the fact that they've completely innovated. Like, because I played a bit like Galciv 3 as well. It's like, yeah, this game seems good, but it's very familiar. It's very similar to Galciv 2, which was very similar to Civilization and so on and so forth. Star Ruler 2 is completely different to any 4X I've ever played. It's really, really weird. But once I get the hang of it, I think I'm going to like it a lot. Like, what I've played of it, I've liked, but I really need to understand the systems, because otherwise I have no idea if I'm playing well or not. So, trying to get there. But it's good. It's definitely got a lot going for it. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what's going on with it.
Yeah.
Really strange. What else there? Oh, board game-wise, I played the expansion to Epic Spell Wars.
Oh, how is it?
It's fun. It's got some really cool mechanics, so you can play both of them together, and you probably should. So you get, like, huge piles of cards. And it's got a few different mechanics. To start with, there's a mechanic called Pets, whereby there are certain spells which are pets, and you play the spell, and then if you roll a certain amount on the dice, the pet component stays around, and you get to keep it as a pet. And the pet can take a hit for you, and the pet can also fight. Like, if the pet stays around, it becomes a spell of its own, and you can keep casting it, and sometimes you can keep the pet for multiple turns, but you can throw it in the way of you to absorb a spell cast on you, which is pretty cool. There's also some dickish cards called reactions, whereby if you die before the spell goes off, the reaction goes off anyway and probably kills the dude that killed you. So that's kind of neat.
Oh, interesting.
There's also a new currency called Blood. Every time you kill someone, you get 3 blood, and there's some spells you can power up with blood. And also, there's you get this little cardboard standee with the game, which came with the first one. They made that a gameplay element now. So it's possible to capture the standee, and it generates blood for you. And it kind of, like, it gets passed around with certain spells and things like that. So it makes
it's
the
like
game...
kidnapping other wizards?
It's kind of, you kidnap the standee, which is like this giant kind of mountain thing. It's hard to explain, because we played the virtual version, which doesn't have it. But it's this little cardboard stand-up thing that's just like a mountain with wizards and shit on it. You can capture it, and it'll give you blood. And then you could use blood to power up certain spells. bonkers. It makes the game a lot more interesting because there's a lot more decision-making involved in it now. It's a bit more complicated. So I dig it. Dig it a lot. It's a really good addition, from what I can tell. I played it with the missus and the kid, and you can be a super dick now. Like, it gives you the ability to be
Not
even...
just a dick.
Not...
Super dick.
Indeed, a magical, arcane-imbued super dick. A throbbing super dick.
I know what that's about.
I'm sure you do.
Wink.
Did you order
Internet.
those pills for $19.99 that you got from the banner ad? Is that what happened?
Ron Jeremy sells a mean pill, man. I had to buy them.
To be fair, if you're going to trust somebody, you might as well trust Ron Jeremy. It's not like he's inexperienced in that regard, right? He's an expert. He's pretty much the world's leading authority. You know, he is the Neil deGrasse Tyson of porn.
I've always said that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What else have I played?
Mine are just vitamin D, in case
Okay,
anybody was wondering.
Vitamin
Oh,
D.
but
Am I right?
Gotta take the D.
My copy of Hatred landed. I haven't played that yet. I believe, Jesse, you got a copy of that as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I was definitely going to play it, but I feel like...
Well, you can't stream it, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit later in the show.
Yeah, the only interest I really had in that game was to stream it.
Tough shit.
Now, and Twitch has decided... Well, Twitch didn't exactly decide we're banning Hatred necessarily. They banned all
we'll
adult...
talk about this in the news section, but
Okay,
this is
alright,
going to be like a news topic. But I haven't installed it yet. I will play it. It'll actually probably be tomorrow's WTF is, assuming that I get the time to play it this evening. But I can't imagine it's a very long game. So
I've seen some gameplay already. Because I guess there's no embargoes for.
Yeah, there's no embargo.
that
They literally just sent it out and said no embargo. I'm like, what? Fuck.
It really did not. It does not seem like what I was expecting. It looks like
just
a
a
real
top-
game to begin with,
It's
like
a
an actual
top-down
game.
shooter. Like, that's all.
Right.
It's. I think someone made this comment on Reddit, which I agree with fully. It's a reskin zombie shooter. You know, like Dead Nation, like that zombie shooting game.
Yes,
it's like that,
like-
just with
it's exactly what
just
it
with
looks like.
pedestrians. Like that's
Right.
all it is. Like the hype over it has been ridiculous, and I'm gonna fucking blame people like Polygon for blowing the shit out of that game. It's like, oh, this game is awful. You shouldn't buy it. Writes 10 fucking articles about it. Like, clickbaiting twats. You know exactly
entirely
what you're
honest.
doing.
I would have never talked about that game, nor even heard about that game
Known about
had Polygon not.
Oh yeah, they're a
Talked
bunch
about
of hypocrites. They knew. They know exactly what they're doing. They're just like, we are the moral authority. We are righteous. We are the best people in the universe. We will condemn this evil video game. Click, 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 click. Let's write 10 articles. Let's write 10 articles about it. Fuck you, Polygon.
Oh, and then of course, because the hype for that was like everyone was like clickbaity article, then every other company on the internet was like, we should definitely
write a
have this
clickbaity
on this
article.
too.
Right.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Did you
they
guys-
have no integrity. No integrity whatsoever.
There was a Punisher video game that came out around 2000s. Did you guys ever play that by chance?
Yes, it had torture sequences in it.
It had much worse
Playable torture.
material. Playable torture scenes that were much like in the first level. You're even taking like a guy and smashing his head repeatedly in a window to get information.
There's a
out
scene
of
where
him.
you put a drill to his face.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
on his hands, you drill through his fucking hands.
And that game was
He deserved it, though.
drastically worse than Hatred's.
Yeah,
what
but
I've
I mean,
seen so far.
people are like, oh, well, it deserved it. Yeah, what about State of Emergency? Do you remember that PS2 game where you literally just ran around a mall shooting up innocent people? Like that was a video game. People were like, no one's done anything like Hatred before. Did you play Postal 1? It's pretty much the same fucking thing. Like you run around killing innocent people. State of Emergency, you run around killing innocent people. Not to mention, like, all the other games where you can kill innocent people, but you don't have to, but it's fun to do it anyway, like GTA and so on and so forth. So, I mean, don't even get me started with that. Like, again, like, places like Polygon literally exploited that game for clicks, and their claims that they think that it's wrong is bullshit because they are the reason why that game got so much publicity. They are. Like, they hyped it. I wouldn't even say they inadvertently hyped it. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. I think they care only about clicks. So whatever moral code they claim to live by is bullshit. And they just wrote a bunch of clickbaity articles because they knew they'd get views from it. There's no integrity there. But yeah, that game's probably going to sell pretty well. So congratulations. Well done. You know, you wanted to take a stand against it. That thoroughly backfired. So either you're incompetent or malicious. I'd probably both. Whatever. I mean, let's not get fucking started on when Polygon was like, oh, Witcher Wild Hunt is racist because in this fantasy land there's not enough people of color. And it's like, they have dwarves and elves. Is that not enough racial diversity for you? Fuck off. Jesus. Anyway. Back to other things. Yes.
I would like to point out that historically, judging by the time period and location, there would be no, because it's the far north, there would be no need to adapt evolutionary for darker skin because of the, like, it just, I'm sorry, like, it just wouldn't be a thing.
No,
it just wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
This isn't like sub-Saharan weather where darker skin protects you from the sun. It's evolutionary. It was unnecessary for the location. You can't just say, where's all the Hispanic characters just because you want them?
Let's just toss a bunch of random colored characters into the game because that's diversity. No, that's bullshit pandering and lazy. It's like, well, we've got to make sure we got the quota right. No, make what fits with the game. Like, you want to make... You know what fucking annoys me more than anything? This is the same fucking website and the same fucking people that complained in Resident Evil 5 that you were killing a lot of black people in Africa. It's Africa! Of course there's a lot of black zombies! Of course there are!
Yes.
What's he like, oh, but racial diversity... Oh, God.
Yeah, you don't need to... Look, you don't need to make everything perfect for everyone all the time. That's just the way the world is. The game takes place in, like, pretty much the northern kind of Eastern European world in, like, I don't know, let's pretend it's the 8th century. There you go. You're not going to find, like, a happy cornucopia of different peoples. They're all going to be pale white guys. It's pretty much it.
Like, I get it. I get, like, a certain amount of this. Like, if you're designing a game and it doesn't take away, like, it's really hard to come up with an example of exactly what I mean. Let's talk about over-sexualization or overly violent. If it's unnecessary to your game and you cannot put it in there, maybe sometimes you shouldn't, right? And I'll always agree with that. I'll always agree that, maybe we don't have to have gigantic tits on our Mortal Kombat characters anymore.
And that's,
maybe we can scale
cool.
them back.
I like the design in Mortal Kombat 10
that
that it's more understated. That's good.
Right. It's unnecessary to have gigantic Mortal Kombat 9 level of breasts. I get that. So we don't need it. Let's not do it.
Don't do it for the sake of it. Just do it because you have a good reason. Like, I fully agree, and we keep coming back to this goddamn topic. I fully agree that there are too many white, male, burly Space Marine protagonists in video games. I fully agree,
absolutely.
and I'm fucking bored of it. I want to see more variety in that respect. But we're not talking about main characters here. We're talking about people who are basically in the background. We're talking about side characters, and we're also talking about a cohesive world that makes sense. And like you said, there are plenty of reasons. It's a Polish developer. It's Poland. They're not, this is not America. They don't have the same culture. They don't have the same racial diversity that America does. And if you develop a game in Poland, you are going to expect that culture to affect the game development. And that's fine. Stop demanding that other cultures be like you. I love the people that's like, oh, cultural appropriation. Yeah, but you're demanding that other cultures be like you. Isn't that pretty much the same thing? I mean, it's just. Oh. I've been trying to avoid this for weeks. Like, I've actually had a nice few weeks because I've been avoiding all the stupid bullshit from people, slacktivists on the internet, sitting in their goddamn San Francisco studio apartments, trying to change the world from their fucking iMacs. And that's what I've been trying to do. And now I'm back into it. Fuck it. Whatever. Back to video games.
Just remember, Coney 2012.
Of course, yeah, because that did wonders, Right. We caught the guy,
right?
right?
It felt good, though.
We caught the guy.
So
it felt real good.
It felt so good to tweet, guys.
Yep.
Right here.
Yeah, I'm all for more like main character diversity. That's fine. I'm not okay with shoehorning. Like, artistic vision is a thing. Let people.
Right, that's exactly my point. Like, at the end of the day, you shouldn't have a checklist of things that we have to do.
No, you don't design by
right?
quota. It's weird because we complain a lot about focused grouped games, like the way that EA does its games, like they tick a bunch of boxes. And a lot of the games press complains about that as well. And yet there seem to be some people that want to do that They just want to do it with character design. You've got to have a certain number of these kind of characters. You've got to have a certain number of these kind of characters. You don't design by focus group. You design based on the vision of the artist. And if that vision happens to be that, if it happens to be Resident Evil 5, where you're killing mostly African zombies because you're in Africa, so be it. If it happens to be Witcher, which is Polish-inspired in a northern fantasy territory where most people are white, so be it. If it happens to be Japanese, like, I don't see them complaining about Yakuza 4, where there's literally one white guy and everyone else is Japanese. Like, you don't see a complaint there. Of course you don't. It's whatever.
I studied writing a little bit in college because I always wanted to be a writer. I'm probably never going to write anything, but one of the very first things you're taught is write what you know.
Exactly.
And so if you are a primarily Polish company and
you're going to
primarily write white characters, and if you make the attempt to write a black character, you may come across as offensive because
as racist.
You know what you're writing, and
exactly.
that is much worse by putting in things that are completely glaringly awful in your game because you didn't know what you were writing about. So that would be 10 times worse.
There was an old game on Xbox 360 called Enchanted Arms, which had a offensively gay character in it. Like, completely stereotyped, hugely blown out of proportion with his voice and everything like that. And it was obvious that someone had tried to develop a gay character and they're basically using him as comedy relief. And it sucked. And it would have been better if they didn't have an openly gay character than have one that's bad. And I think that's what a lot of studios are very afraid of. Because the write what you know thing is a problem because most of the writers and game designers that we have are also white and male for the most part. We're getting more females in, which is great. That's good. We need that. Because if we have more diversity in terms of the amount of writers, then we have more room for better stories because they can write different characters. That's good. And I think especially in this current environment, people are shit scared of writing a different character that people then turn around and claim that's racist. Because then they just get crucified for that. So they stick to what's safe, which is a shame. And the irony of it is that a lot of the people making these demands are the people terrifying these writers into sticking to what they know because they're afraid they're going to be burned at the fucking stake if they screw up making a racial minority character. Yeah? That's the problem. We've got to be... Here's what I'm going to ask everybody. And I'm preaching to the choir here because I believe that most of you guys are sensible and you're not idiots. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, before you go off on someone and assume the worst, how about you assume that they're not a terrible monster Hitler, and you assume that maybe they were just trying their best and maybe they just didn't do it all that well. Give them the benefit of the fucking doubt.
Right.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
I've always been a big fan of the boiling the frog analogy, right? Like if you take a frog and you throw it in a scalding pot, it's going to hop out, right? But if you put it in lukewarm water and then slowly raise the temperature, you will boil the frog to death. And I'm not talking about boiling anybody to death, but I'm saying that I think that diversity and change and things along that lines have to be handled in a very slow, right? It's a very gradual thing. You have to realize that. And I think the louder we shout, that's the equivalent of throwing the frog into the boiling pot. I think if you do what, and I know a lot of people are going to like immediately, you guys might, Borderlands 2. Did a decent job of introducing a very diverse cast. Like Sir Hammerlock is gay, but it's never thrown into your face.
No, it's not.
Right.
Which is a shame because pre-sequel did throw that shit into your face. It's like, hey, look at me, hey! Like,
right. To this day, I've yet to play pre-sequel.
You're not missing anything.
20 minutes into it. It was all fetch quests. It was all, it was just awful. But I love the way they've handled it in Mortal Kombat X. I hate to keep hyping that game, but which character is it? Is Kung Jin, isn't it? Who's the first gay character? And the way that you know it is, I mean, obviously a lot of people have written articles about it. That's one way to know it. But the other way to know it is during the storyline, he says to his master, which is Hanzo, which is Scorpion, and he says, we need to send you to these people to train. And he goes, but they won't accept me. And he says to Kung Jin, he says, well, it's not. It's what's in your heart that matters, not what your heart desires, and that's it. And it's very subtle, and it's there. And I think
it's
even
amusing that
like
Mortal Kombat, if anything, is more like sensibly progressive than most games these days. Right. Like, what the hell happened?
I think even like the most homophobic, redneck, frustrated piece of garbage Arkansas neighbor of mine, sorry Arkansas, I think even he would be like, I think that guy's gay, that's all right, I guess. It's not a big deal, but when you shove it down somebody's throat,
when you make it a big
that's
deal.
when you get resistance. And that's why I don't understand. Like, I've been an equal rights card carrying member now for 20 years. I pay my dues. I'm a big fan of equality. I'm a big fan of diversity. I'm a big fan of equal rights. My way of doing it is different than the way a lot of other people do it these days.
Like, in my experience,
it's
most
common
people are
sense. It's just common sense, right?
Yeah.
But maybe it's not as common as I would think.
It's best done, in my opinion, where it's like, this is normal. Like, not just shoving it in your face. I think it was Mass Effect 3, there was a gay character in that. There was a scene that I heard about where he was, like, talking about his dead husband and things like that. And it was just written like that was completely normal. And that's because it is. And that's fine.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. And that's the way to do it. That's always the way to do it. But... I would just like everyone, like games media in particular, to give people the fucking benefit of the doubt and, not go writing articles and scoring games down because they don't have a certain quota of people with the right skin color in this fantasy world. Can we not?
But there's a certain amount of you can't win that these developers face because, like I said, if they create a primarily white cast, for The Witcher 3, then they're going to face the fact that there's no diversity. If they write diverse characters incorrectly, then they're going to face their rampant racism because they went with stereotypes or they screwed up. They made it not. And those articles, whatever article you write, whichever one of those you write, either they put a Mexican character in and he really likes burritos, so therefore they're racist assholes, or they wrote an entirely white race. Either way, that article is going to get
fried
clicks.
chicken. That's very racist. Like, no, everyone
like
likes fried chicken. It's delicious. What the hell's wrong with you?
Right. But either way,
Dodger, you had something to say. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
All I was gonna say is that if we could put more focus on programs that encourage people of other minorities to get involved in writing and game development and things like that, that's the way to fix these problems.
Yes,
is
absolutely.
to have more voices involved and more opinions in the creative process.
Yes, and that's good for everybody because we get more interesting stories that way.
And as a gamer who's been gaming now for his entire life, which is, again, like I said, 40 years of gaming, I love diversity in gaming. Like I love seeing the casual crowd getting catered to. I love seeing these types of games. Like, I enjoyed Candy Crush. I love the fact that there's new concepts and new things to do and the more voices we have in the industry, the more people writing stuff, the better the choices we have when it comes to the types of games that we play. That's why I love the age of self-publishing. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier. You live in a time and day and age where you can get your message out to anybody, and it's the most magical time in the world because there's an infinite amount of variety, because there's an infinite number of ideas, because there's an infinite number of authors, because you sitting at home right now, whoever or whatever you are, you can create and you can get it to the people. And it's an incredible world to live in. It's so incredible, Sorry, Jesse.
No, I was going to say, I think that we should focus, or I guess developers should focus on making the player character more accessible to people of different cultures and men and women, rather than worry about the world. Make the character in that world something that everyone can relate to, rather than just being white male every time.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I actually think the opposite is a better idea. I think that having an interesting, diverse cast of side characters is the way to go. I think that there are some RPGs, like, something like, say, Pillars of Eternity, or any RPG that lets you create your own character that's a blank slate, that has basically no real backstory whatsoever. You kind of project your own backstory onto that. But here's the thing, like a character like Shepard or a character like Geralt, they are specific characters with their own backstory. It makes very little sense to give you like a huge amount of customization over those characters, because their character is a key component of the story. And by watering that character down and just saying, she can be whatever you want it to be, I think you actually make the story less interesting.
I think in a game where you can be anything that you want to be, you get to design that character. It's important for them to make sure that everything going on in the background, all of the other characters involved, that you suit that world.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So,
Yes,
like, if
absolutely.
you create a game where every character is white, and they're like, well, you can make a character that's whatever color you want. If you're a black character in a world that's all white, it feels off somehow. You know, like it doesn't. It feels like the world wasn't created correctly. But like, what were you gonna say, TV?
I think that there's an opportunity there to make the world react to that. And I mean, even perhaps including an element of racism from some of the bad characters. I think that makes things a lot more interesting. It does, of course, make the game potentially less accepting to people. But if say there's an entire game which is a bunch of white characters, you come in as a black character, it's like, oh, he's from another land. You know, you can have the characters actually react to that in some way.
But again, then you have to make your game suit that part. Like, if you weren't intending that to be part of the story in your game, then you're just adding that in. But like, what I was gonna say is that, yes.
No, I just go, just keep go. Just go, just.
Let me. Can I say?
Is he having a meltdown here or
thing?
what?
Can I say the stupidest thing I'll ever say?
You can try.
Right here on the. I'm gonna go for it. I think Saints Row 4 treated diversity better than any game has ever done. And let me explain why. You can make your character any shape, which is important to me, by the way, developers. I like to make big old fatties, okay? You can make your character any shape, any size, any height, any color, right down to making Shrek if you want to. Hi, Donkey. And you can have sex with every character in the game. It doesn't matter, straight, gay, it doesn't matter. You can make a female character and have sex with all the women. You can make a male character and have sex with all the men. And there's not like actual sex. It's just a little love cutscene or whatever. But that is in my ideal world, that would be how you would treat diversity in video games. That would be Saints Row 4 is the most politically
I don't think
correct
that
game I've
works
ever
for
played.
everything. I think that works for like the wacky, crazy world where you're able to customize your character. It's like, I want to play a 700-pound superhero that can fly through the air. Okay, I can do that because it's Saints Row, and I can also do it while wearing spandex. That doesn't work for every game. Like
That's true.
Especially like the seriously character-driven games. Like especially for a lot of the Saints Row games, your character again is a blank slate. And blank slate games are very easy to do diversity with. It's the games where you have a character.
Your character's not a blank slate, though. I guess
not in Saints Row 4 he isn't,
slate?
but he is in Saints Row 2 and 3, and certainly the first Saints Row.
1 and 2. 1 and 2, for sure.
Okay, yeah.
But 3 and 4, and after that, I think your character is physically a blank slate, but character-wise, he is, I think they say, like, he's a puckish rogue. He's just a total douchebag that loves to blow shit up. He's the boss of a gang that I don't know how they're a gang because all they do is go around and party and not really do any gang stuff. They fight corporations. Like, it's silly. He's a silly character, and no matter who you are, you're that character. So it would be like if you were playing The Witcher and you could graphically change the way Geralt looks, but character-wise, he's still the same. Like, yeah, I talk like this, and I'm a badass, and I
think a lot of games could just benefit from letting you do that. I remember Deus Ex is a good example. The original Deus Ex, you were the same JC Denton, but you could pick from 5 like face and skin colors. One of them was black. One of them was albino. So you don't get a lot of albino representation in games, I gotta say. But you had there's a black one that was an Asian face, a kind of Asian colored face. Standard white, there was kind of ginger, and then albino. But the character was still exactly the same, regardless of which one you picked. Which I think is fine, but it's also, I think that you're missing opportunities, potentially. Like, you can do a bit of storytelling related to that. Especially, like, say if you met a character who was from the same place you were in a game. It's like, well, if you happen to pick the Asian JC Denton, and you ran into someone, it's like, oh, are you from this country? And blah, blah, blah. I think there's storytelling possibilities that could be put in there. But again, it's a lot of work. Anyway, I'm not really sure where we're going with this. I think we all kind of come to the same basic conclusion that we should respect artistic vision, and simultaneously, let's get more writers, let's get people from different cultures involved, because then we get more interesting stories.
But at the same time,
Yes, Dodger.
The thing that I wanted to say is just that, like, I still think that critique is important, and I think that it's important for people to realize that representation is also very important. That representation can do a lot for an individual person if they see a character that was specifically designed to be Black or Indian or, you know, lots of other demographics. There's a level of empowerment there that's important to people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. I absolutely agree with that. But I mean, that's why you have cool, well-written characters, and people look up to them and they idolize them and so on and so forth. And I'd love to see more of that. That would be great. The thing about critique, the main problem I have with critique is when you condemn a game for the game's artistic vision and say, oh, well, you don't have enough characters of a particular color, so I'm going to condemn you and I'm going to make assumptions about you as a person. And people do that. I think it's okay to say, it would have been nice if there were more. And some game reviews did that with The Witcher. And then there were ones that said, this is a problem. I was like, is it a problem? But is it a problem? And should you be making assumptions about the developer? Should you be going as far as to claim the developer might be racist or might be sexist? That's where it goes too far, in my opinion. When you start making assumptions about the people behind the art rather than just saying, look, I'd prefer the art was a different way. And here's why I think it would improve the game if it were a different way.
Yeah, critique for the sake of critique without acknowledging the content that is being critiqued is a pointless endeavor. It achieves nothing. All you're doing is trying to cause controversy. It's unnecessary. It's a completely useless thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah, absolutely.
They know what they did because it was a clickbaity article. They're very well aware of what they did in order to get that us talking about it, which we are. So.
Oh my gosh.
I will say my final thought on the topic. It really all comes down to author's discretion. And I really do believe it needs to be the author's discretion. And I believe if we did live in a world in which the blanks, every character has to be male and white, and that's the only story worth telling. If we lived in that world, I think that would be a terrible world. But I think as we bring in more authors who are diverse themselves, and as more independent developers are able to publish the games that they want to create and write the games that they want to write, and do the things that they want to do, we're going to see diversity in the characters and the worlds, and that is beautiful, and I love this. And as much as I love AAA games and big explosions and super 200 hours of gameplay, and as much as I love this stuff, I'm so in love with self-publishing because I think that's the real key. I think the problem solves itself, and I don't think any amount of slacktivism is going to make any real difference. I think the problem
slacktivism
solves
makes it worse.
itself.
It's like I said before, you make writers afraid of writing characters they're not familiar with because you're afraid that someone with a fucking blog or who works for a games journalism website turns around and calls you racist for it. People are scared, and they've said it before. We've had this for years with female characters in particular. People are scared of doing female characters because they're scared of being called sexist by these people because they didn't do it the way that they wanted it. I mean, the Josh Whedon issue is a prime fucking example of that. I don't agree with a lot of what that guy says, especially with, the whole Gamergate thing. But outside of that, he's a good writer, and I've enjoyed most of what he's made. And he got shit on for Black Widow. Shit on. Really badly. And it's like,
I enjoyed
you can't
those scenes.
win.
I
Fuck
love
you,
those scenes.
Internet.
You can't
I
win.
enjoyed those scenes.
Let me say,
I mean, I agree that we didn't get the scenes we were promised out of Black Widow. We didn't get the storyline that got built up for fucking years for Black Widow.
I really wanted a movie, personally.
A Black Widow movie.
I thought they were going to do that, and then they never did that. I thought after
well, you can fucking blame Hollywood for that, not the writers. Hollywood's not willing to take risks on female action stars, which is fucking annoying. Because I don't see a I love the action genre, and I'm not really so keen on 98% of action stars being fucking male. It's boring.
I saw the Avengers 2 with my wife. And I identify with the Hulk as much. I mean, literally, the Hulk is right here.
I self-identify as the Incredible Hulk. My preferred pronouns are Hulk self.
But I do identify with the Hulk because I suffer from PTSD and anxiety disorder. I lose control occasionally when I'm faced with things that anger me or frustrate me or are difficult for me. And because of that, I thought I would never find a wife. I thought I'd never find the right person in my life. And I found my Black Widow. I really did. And that scene, like me and my wife immediately realized what was happening, and she knew how I felt about the character, and she reached over and she grabbed my hand, and then she hugged me and held me close. And I was like, this scene is so romantic and so beautiful and so perfect. And it's exactly what I thought, because I thought I'll never be able to have kids. And because I'll never be able to have kids, I'll never find a wife that will want to be with me, because we'll never have kids together. And then my wife understands my trepidation when it comes to kids. And I'm like, this is so great. And I walk out of the movie and I like check on Twitter. I'm like, this movie's so good. It's got a scene in there just for me. And then the internet just shit on that scene, and it like broke me. Like, it just broke me that was the scene they had problems with. I didn't understand it because it mirrored my exact life. I mean, I don't turn into a giant green monster, but I do turn into a giant.
Questionable.
Right.
I wonder if the problem with that, and I catch myself saying this, and I immediately think I'm a fucking idiot for doing it. I'm like, maybe Dodger would agree with me on this as the woman. I'm like, no,
Probably.
that's so bad.
As
like
the token
probably
lady
would,
of the
though.
show.
Well, this is the entire problem,
She
isn't
probably
it?
would, though.
This is the entire problem. It's funny because even this kind of very podcast also represents this sort of issue. There's only one female Avenger. So it seems like to people she has to be literally everything. She's got to represent everything that's good about every female in the world ever, because she's the only one there that can. She's not allowed to have flaws.
There was a really good article that was talking about the whole Black Widow thing. And they were like, really? Let's take her and replace her with any of the other characters. There would still be a huge issue. If she was Tony Stark, she would have been the woman that didn't listen. If she was Captain America, she would have been the strict, no-nonsense mom figure that everybody hates. If she had been Clint, Hawkeye, she would have been the woman who's out to battle but just really wants to be home with her family, right? Like, there would have been a problem no matter who she was. And, like, we've gotten to this point where we just overanalyze and overcritique every single thing because it's just so hard. It's like writers.
That's why I don't critique writing.
So many, I feel so bad for writers, and at the same time, like I want to encourage them to keep like trying new stuff. That's why during the whole conversation we were having earlier, I was like, I don't know, like I agree, and at the same time I don't, because like I think it is important for writers to try writing other cultures and to try writing other types of people and have them involved in their story, and not only, write about people who are similar to them. Like, I think that creates a very boring story. So I don't know. It's a hard topic because, again, we are in such a like high octane area of this exact thing right now.
Yeah, I mean, gaming in particular has plenty of issues with that when it comes to just here's the reality of like this podcast. There aren't that many female gaming YouTubers, like, compared to male. There just aren't. Like, we get a lot of them on the show, and there's, like, 100 men to every, like, popular female gaming YouTuber. It's hard to find good guests, like, in that respect. And I think that there's a bit of a problem there, especially when it comes to action movies. It's the same issue. Most of the heroes are male. So whenever you introduce a female one, they get overanalyzed to shit by the entire fucking internet. Like, and it's like, oh, she's not allowed to have this flaw. She can't be flawed in this way, because she's got to represent all of womankind, all 3.5 bloody billion of them. And if she doesn't do that well, then the writer is a sexist. And
well,
I feel for writers, I really do.
I do.
The thing, to me, the way to fix that is to have more female characters.
Well,
have
sure,
it not be
yeah.
a shit ton of dudes and one woman who has to represent everybody, right?
Yeah.
Just like we were saying. But like in that specific situation where that was the dynamic, it's just hard. She's going to be flawed. And if she's not flawed, then there's a huge problem there.
Well, I mean, have you never watched anything Josh Whedon has fucking written? Every one of his characters has flaws. Like, every single fucking one of them. There's no doubt about that. That's how he writes his characters. Sometimes it actually gets a bit ridiculous because, like, oh, here's the crippling character flaw that's in every fucking character he ever writes, but most of the time it results in fairly interesting stuff. It's a shame. But yeah, I think the best message to probably take from this is, hopefully this will solve itself over time. Don't make it worse by scaring the shit out of the existing writers and making them afraid to try new things. Because otherwise they're going to stick to what's safe. And guess what's safe? Big, white, male, scary Space Marine. Yep. That's what's safe. Because nobody cares about his character development.
It's kind of funny how it goes full circle. When Dodger says people should take chances and write characters they don't understand, the reason why people are like, well, I'm just going to wait until I get on a team where there's a writer representing every group when you create this game, because people are afraid to even take that next step of like, I'm going to create a character that I really know nothing about, but let's just see what happens. Like, everyone's so afraid that's
because they got jumped on for it.
No one's willing to take that chance. I agree with you. People should go, like, create their world how they want their world to be and create characters. And if they aren't that particular race or ethnic minority or whatever, fine, but create that world. But people are still like, if I do this and it comes out badly or reflects poorly on me, then I'm the, like, horrible racist who made this mock character. And so everyone's just really antsy. And I think we need to get beyond that and just let people create what they want to create, and let artists be artists. Do what you do, and let's not be so freaking crazy.
And
Internet.
like we've said before, just let everybody continue to make what they're going to make. And as the world changes and develops and becomes more tolerant and understanding of other cultures and other ways of living and all of these different things, that's also going to reflect in our media, right? Mm-hmm. Like, tackling the real world is going to affect the media in positive ways.
And I think this goes back to if a lot of my friends lately have been like, have you seen just in general how much over the last 10 years just the cultural outlook on being gay in general has changed? And people are like, how'd that happen? Why'd that happen? And honestly, it's just because younger people were like, yeah, no, I'm cool with that, whatever. And didn't care. And it's just time. It just takes time.
Yep.
And it just takes a new generation of people to come along and be like, yeah, no, I just don't. That's not a real big deal for me anymore.
Go Ireland, by the way. Yay!
Yeah.
And all the old fuddy-duddies who have their own set ways will eventually be dead, and we'll just sort of move on, and everything will be eventually things will sort of work themselves out the way it should be.
I was reading. Sorry.
Oh no, please go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I was reading a different article that was talking about it was this guy saying, I think that when you hit maybe like 65 or 70, you just shouldn't be allowed to vote anymore because you're voting on the future of other people and you're probably not going to be around. And I was like, oh, that's some heavy shit.
Well, hell, they don't let people under 18 vote, so why not have an upper limit as well? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. It's
guys, I have to pee so bad.
Oh yeah, sure. We'll take a break. Absolutely.
We went so
yeah,
over.
we did. We kind of got into that and just didn't want to stop. Okay, well, we'll be right back after the break to talk a little bit about news. We'll talk a bit about the hatred and the Twitch ban on that particular game. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is the Co-optional Podcast. Sometimes, occasionally. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-optional Podcast for the final God knows how long of the show. We massively overran on that topic.
Oops.
It was fun.
I almost feel like we do that topic too much, but then again, simultaneously, why the hell not? It's an interesting discussion, and it's reasonably important, so why the fuck not?
It keeps coming up again. Every time we think we're done, someone does something else that's just
Someone does something stupid, and brings it up again. Speaking of stupid, Twitch, the site that we are on right now.
Wow! Twitch. Idiots. Whole bunch of dummies.
Twitch, yesterday, updated their code of conduct, which was conveniently right before the review copies with no streaming embargo of Hatred were sent out. I wonder if there's a coincidence or some kind of connection going on there. I wonder. Now, what they have now said is that AO-rated games are not allowed on the service, such as the mature, the AO version of San Andreas, which I think was the one which accidentally had hot coffee in it, and I'm pretty sure the AO version of Fahrenheit. Basically, anything that's rated AO, adults only, is no longer allowed on the service. And they've updated their rules of conduct in the pursuit of the goal to make the community platform feel more comfortable and fun, safe and welcoming and inclusive. And
all right, 1984.
That's basically what they said. Well, we're going to make everything more inclusive by not including things. Like, you understand that works, right? Yeah? Sounds good?
Yeah.
Yes. So apparently that somehow makes the site more inclusive. And basically this doesn't really cover anything other than hatred. So, essentially, these games were already banned anyway, because Twitch doesn't allow for gratuitous nudity on the service. So, really, banning AO only ends up banning hatred.
Right, because at the end of the day, that's the big loophole, right? Like, obviously, you're not allowed to show sexual situations on Twitch, even if it's an M-rated game. But they made an exception of a few games.
Well, yeah,
the
popular ones. Witcher has sex scenes
Right.
in it. Basically, what they said was the gameplay's not allowed to be centered on the sex. So
Right.
it's to prevent you from streaming like porn games and things like that.
Right, which makes, I mean, that obviously makes sense. But I guess this hatred would basically be the first game to ever really fall under their guidelines for violence.
Yes.
And that's very remarkable, obviously.
It is remarkable considering that, again, Postal, right? I don't think Postal does Postal even have a rating on Steam? Let's
I
check.
was gonna say, does Postal have a rating?
I'm looking at Postal, actually. They're on a 90% off sale right now, and I'm pretty sure they're doing that on purpose. They're rated M. That's weird. Like, Postal is literally the same.
Postal worse than Hatred?
Arguably, yes. Like, Postal it's an isometric top-down shooter where you kill innocent people. Like, Hatred is an isometric top-down shooter where you kill innocent people. Hatred is rated AO, whereas Postal is rated M, which is a bit of a weird one. There's a little bit of inconsistency there as far as I can tell. But this rule is clearly meant to stop people from streaming Hatred, nothing but that. Because otherwise, like, all the other stuff was banned anyway on Twitch in the first place. So, do you view this as Twitch taking a political stance on this particular game? Because they're essentially saying, for all intents and purposes, you can't play this particular game, we're not going to allow this on our service.
Not at all. I think this was not a political stance. I think we shouldn't read too much into this. This was a legalese thing that probably came along where they were like, let's just not get involved. So let's just not allow people to do it.
They're like, I don't know what's going to be in this
PR move.
game, but it's been built up a lot as being super hella violent, so let's just make it so nobody can play it at all.
Yes.
Yeah, like we're afraid that someone might complain to us because someone saw their kid playing this game, so let's just not make that a thing.
Right, and there's a certain amount of age gating. Like, the age gating on Twitch is not very good.
It's terrible.
You can click mature stream or whatever. That just gives you a checkbox like entering a porn site. Are you 18? Yeah, sure I am. There's no real age gating, and so I can understand where Twitch wants to be careful because they don't want somebody sitting at home with the Xbox app or the PlayStation app or watching on their phone and being a 14-year-old kid and then seeing some child get murdered in Hatred. Or I don't even know that that's in.
Well, you can't kill kids in Hatred. Like,
thank you for that. I'm glad to hear that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of just shoring up their policies. So it's difficult to get too upset about it. But it's clear that they're shoring up their policies because of this game, and that just I don't know. I feel like you should be more transparent about that, in my opinion.
Well, here's what bothers me, right? This is probably the same case with a bunch of you guys as well. My main age demographic is 25 to 34. Like 40% of my viewers are 25 to 34, 39% of my viewers are 18 to 25. Here's the thing. We're all old enough to make our own fucking decision about what media we consume, whether or not it be streamed media, whether or not it be games that we play. Not only that, but even though the age rating doesn't work very well on Twitch, there is an age gate. I can set my stream to mature audiences only. If I can set my stream to mature audiences only, then frankly, as far as I'm concerned, it is the choice of me and my audience what we choose to actually consume. And if that happens to be violence, now I get the sex thing because America, but when it comes to violence, I can play plenty of games that are just as violent as Hatred without any problem whatsoever. I can go stream State of Emergency or Postal right now and it's exactly the same. I'm slaughtering innocent people for points, exactly the same thing, but I can't play hatred. And I don't like the fact that Twitch is making that decision for me. I think that's bullshit. I'm 30 years old, I can make that decision for myself, and my audience can make the decision for myself. And it's not my responsibility if a kid sneaks in past your shitty age gate.
Well, I think that's their legal standing is like, well, if a kid does sneak in, TB's not going to be the one in trouble, it's going to be us. So let's not worry about it.
Yeah, but if the kid lied to do it, like, it's the same with 18-rated, like, red band trailers. They're age-gated, you have to pick your age. Everyone can get through that. Anybody. There was a thing up on... it's funny, because Reddit was discussing this. There's a red band trailer out right now for a movie called American Ultra, and people were like, why is this age-gated? Everyone can get through it. And the answer was because that moves the responsibility off the people that were hosting it. It's like, it's not our fault that a kid lied. It's like, is it the movie's fault that a kid snuck in to watch an M-rated movie? It's not the movie's fault, no. But I'm bothered by it because I don't even think that Twitch even played it. I know that GOG isn't stocking it, but the thing is they played it before they made that decision. And I'm kind of okay with it because GOG is a highly curated service, and they're very picky about the games that go on there anyway.
Steam is not.
Steam is not. No.
Right,
not at all.
my only complaint about Steam ever removing that game when they choose to remove it is this is the game you're going to remove. Like, out of all the shitty bloatware nightmares up on, like, just straight up viruses copying the graphics from other people's games that shows up in Greenlight, and this is the time
this
to
is what you
finally
choose to do.
intervene.
Yeah.
Like, please don't be those people.
Well, I mean, for what I've watched the footage of Hatred that came out this morning, and again, I don't see what the fuss is about. Like, this was blown way out of proportion. Way out of proportion. And it is the fault of the media for doing that, as it always fucking is. And, frankly, I don't see the harm in it being on Twitch. I mean, I really don't. Like, considering the other things that you can stream on Twitch, which are equally violent, if not more so, I really don't see the problem. But I think it is exactly what Jesse said. It's to dodge a potential PR nightmare. Mm. Like, because and it's probably got a lot to do with the fact Amazon now owns them, so they've got more responsibility, whatever that means. Let's just ignore the fact that Twitch is entirely fine with chats being covered in fucking swastikas and racist commentary moving at 5,000 miles a second. They're okay with that. They're okay with gambling for real money, which is illegal in some countries and states, but they're okay with having that on the service. But they're not okay with imaginary violence. Why exactly can we not just grow past this point? I mean, there are horrible, horrible movies. Like, things like a Serbian film is fucking disgusting. Like, things like The Human Centipede is fucking disgusting. And we still respect film as a genre. We still respect film as a medium, in fact.
They're making a third one.
I know.
Oh, it got rated.
The third one.
Go, Dodger, go.
So, you know how the second one was set in a world where the first one was a movie and the second one?
Yeah.
So, the third one is set in a world where the first two were both movies.
It has a rating.
I love it!
It has a rating on Metacritic of 1. 1. I've never seen that before. That incredible.
Because it's awful? Because it's an awful thing that should never exist?
There's no... I'm going to stop you right there. Don't get into that territory of it should never exist. Fuck
False.
that. Fuck that.
False.
You choose to consume...
Sewing a man's mouth to a person's butt should not exist.
No, bullshit.
I will stand by that to the day I die.
There are...
Wrong.
It is it's a piece of fiction.
False.
There are
You're
no
wrong.
things that
You're
should not
wrong.
exist in a piece of
That
fiction.
should not exist,
So don't
TV.
watch it. So don't watch
No.
it. Who cares? I don't watch it. I wouldn't want to watch that in a million years. I think it's fucking
No.
disgusting. But it's not my right to tell them what should and should not exist. I'm not going to put limits on fiction. I'm not going to put limits on art. I don't care how shitty the art is. I'm not going to put limits on that. That's bullshit. I don't have the right. I mean, where the fuck does that end? I'm not okay with that. I've never been okay with that. I'm a grown adult. I can choose what not to consume. It's that simple.
You're the point. I'm not saying that the creative process to create that shouldn't exist. I'm saying the mind thought of sticking a man's mouth and sewing it to a butt should not be a thing that ever existed.
So why are you spreading that thought to 16,000 live viewers, Jesse? It's just like saying the N-word. Really, you're just a dick for saying the N-word because you're making us say the racist term in our head. So you're the racist. Bastard.
Nailed
logic.
it. Caught me.
Yeah.
Busted.
Got you there.
Busted.
Oh, God. This was bound to happen. We've missed, like, what, 3 of this fucking show?
We've got a lot of pent-up angst.
Yeah, it's just, it keeps spiraling out of control, and I don't know why I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was here to witness it. I truly am.
I'm going to be honest, I would have preferred that they just outright banned hatred and explained why. Like,
Yes,
this
please.
is a puff piece. It's like, we want to be safer and inclusive. Really?
Well,
Okay.
That's pretty much what they did with Honey Pop, right? They just said, not this game.
Yeah,
right?
they did. They literally said, not this game.
So
Now-
why not just do that again?
All right. I mean, they just got boobies in there, but sure, okay.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you played the uncensored version, then you had more than just boobies in there. I mean,
No,
even...
It wasn't that worth it. It wasn't that worth it. It wasn't that worth it.
That's not worth it.
That's not worth it, right? Pound it. That's not worth it. Pound it.
Yeah.
Boobies and splooge, that's not even worth it.
Yeah, they were like, we're gonna edit out that splooge because it's too hard.
Yeah,
It's
I just-
Not
too
even
far. I was
worth
like,
it.
what?
I just don't like that this bullshit PR puffer is like, we want to make it safer. I'm sorry, I go into the average chat and I'm immediately called a Nazi, an autistic, and a F word, and an N word, and a T word, and a Z word, and the Z word in
T-word.
particular.
Woo,
Oh, God.
They called you the T-word!
They call me the T word,
Motherfucker.
man. Bastards. I'm sorry, like, your community is fucking terrible. We have sub chat for a reason. Like, and you think that not having hatred on your servers is somehow going to clean it up? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God.
It all comes down to, I'm just going to be frank. And if I can wax philosophical here for just a minute, I think it really all comes down to the fact that people will say things like Reddit is terrible, or Twitch chat, or YouTube chat is terrible. And having seen the darker sides of humanity quite a bit
Like
in my
sewing a
lifetime.
mouth to a butt?
Right, exactly. I'm just willing to say that humanity just kind of sucks. And if you find good people in this world, they're a novelty, they're a rarity, and you should cling to the good people you meet and be as just celebrate that you found someone who wasn't a complete asshole, and be best friends with them and hug them and just admire them because they are one of kind, one in a million easily. And that's that's why, Jesse, that's why there's some guy going, it'd be really fucked up is if I wrote a story about a guy whose face gets sewn to an asshole.
Because
and
he
then
just
the
wants
first guy
friends?
Right, like, no, because he sucks. The guy who wrote that just kind
No,
of sucks.
but that's right, because he doesn't understand friends, and he's like, everyone keeps calling me an asshole, so I'm gonna make a movie where they have to be near my asshole, because he's a bad person. A bad person. You're all bad people. You asshole sewing to mouth feeders.
Since we've devolved so hard, can I make a movement, if you will, that we should do releases because there are a lot.
Yes.
Probably, but let's at least conclude on this. Like, we'll go around the room and get everyone's kind of short opinion. I personally think that if they want to ban hatred, they should have just banned hatred. I think that banning a game that you have clearly not played and frankly has content that is no worse than other things that are streamed repeatedly on your service is ridiculous, and this is particularly the case when Twitch has more and more moved away from doing what it actually claims that it does, which is a game streaming service. It had the premiere of Mr. Robot on last night. You want to tell me what the fuck that has to do with gaming? You want to tell me what that fucking ultra dance party had to do with gaming? Not a shitting thing.
Money.
Exactly. Not a damn thing. So it's like one set of rules for them, another set of rules for us. We can't do content that's not gaming related, but hey, if a big television company comes around and offers us a little bit of moolah, we'll do that. We'll put on stuff that's not remotely game related whatsoever. No problem. Twitch, get your shit together. That's what I'm asking for.
They let me build a Gundam on stream.
Well, frankly, if someone had reported you would have probably been kicked off for that. Like, you really would have.
I'm gonna report you next
I
time
cleared
you do
it.
that.
I cleared it.
I'm reporting. I'm full on reporting
Go
you.
for it. I cleared it.
Oh.
Go for it.
Well, you were
No.
sensible, but I've seen people get shut down for like craft related stuff that wasn't like specifically game related. Like, if you're making stuff like Warhammer, that's like for a game, you get away with it. But I've seen stuff like that going down. I think it was handled badly, and I think that they prejudged it, and I frankly think that they're treating channels that are like with older audiences, like 25 to 34, like children, and I'm not okay with that. Like, this is 2015. A lot of us have older audiences. We should be able to choose what the hell we watch and what we play. It's that simple. And if your age gating can't handle that, that's your problem, not mine.
You know, at the end of the day, it's Twitch's format, and they can do with it whatever they want.
Oh, absolutely, they can.
And
I could choose not to be on this service if I wish.
Right, that's exactly what it comes down to. We have the option to choose not to use the service at that point as well. And if you want to see Hatred gameplay, I believe Hitbox is still allowing streams of it. So you have the option to go to Hitbox instead of Twitch tonight and watch it get played there, and that's the decision they've made. And I admire the guys at Twitch. I like the guys at Twitch. They let me sing shitty karaoke songs at the beginning and the end of every one of my streams without telling me not to do it, and I appreciate it because my audience loves it, and it's fun, and, you know, I appreciate the service you create, but at the end of the day, I wish you had just a little more...
consistency?
Balls, I guess, would really be it. Like, I wish I think it's a ballsy move you've made here, and that's good. So take the other step and just say, we don't like that game. We don't want the PR disaster. We're not going to screw with it. Just
be honest about it.
Just be honest about it, and that's my qualm.
Don't give me this bullshit about being inclusive, as if that's somehow inclusive. All right, that doesn't make any sense. Jesse?
Like, what about the people who want to watch people's heads get stomped in?
You just excluded the people that wanted to watch Hatred.
Right.
Yes, Jesse?
I think that they were looking for is accessible.
Accessible?
Go, Jesse. Yeah, because
I agreed with Boogie earlier. You just Jessied me.
Jessied
Jessied me.
TV asked me a question. Fuck. Go.
Fuck!
Can you guys just go fight on webcam, like punch the shit out of each other for our entertainment? I wonder if Twitch would allow that violence. Let's see. Go fight. Fight. What have I begun? We're gonna get kicked off. It's gonna be great. Yes. You know, this new office setup they've got could have some upsides. You know, it's beneficial.
Yes.
Anyway, Jesse, what were you gonna say?
Yes, Jesse.
Nothing. I agreed with Boogie way back at the beginning when we first started. They should have just said, "Yeah, no, we just don't like this game."
We don't want the aggro. I'd have respected that more. I would have, because I wouldn't have agreed with it, but I'd at least have understood it. You know.
Yep.
Dodger, your opinion on it before we go to releases?
I mean, it's not that I don't get it. It's not that I don't get the whole, like, look, we're just going to do this now and it's going to cover our asses in the future. Like, you know, fuck it. But I do wish that they had just given it the same treatment that they gave Honey Pop and been like, look, we just don't want people streaming this fucking game. And we would have been like, okay. Right? Like, that would have been the end.
Yeah. Is there even a banned list somewhere? There's got to be, surely, a list of banned games on Twitch. Because, like, if there isn't one that's easily accessible, then that's a real pain in the ass.
Maybe. There's probably one somewhere.
Jesse, what the hell? Dodger, what?
I did something weird with my mouth that I don't think I've ever done before.
Okay.
And it caught me off guard.
What the fuck?
What the hell?
Oh, I just watched that on the 45-second delay. Like, what? Oh, apparently a banned list has been made. Canthus, who is our resident Twitch staff member in the chat, if you wouldn't mind linking that list, that would be nice. It would be nice to know what I'm going to get in trouble for and what I'm not going to get in trouble for on a service that's, you know, paying me. There it is. Cool. Yes, they've actually got a list of prohibited games. Before we go on to the thing, it's not a very long one. Okay, so here's the list of prohibited games. BMX XXX, Dramatical Murder, Second Life, Honey Pop, right. Sakura Spirit, and then they prohibit the adult-only version of Hatred, Fahrenheit, and Manhunt 2. So
What
that's
is
the list.
BMX
So many
XXX, and
visual
why do
It
I
was a
need this?
PlayStation 1 game where you rode around as kind of a naked woman on a BMX.
Oh, I see.
It was
It's
pretty
okay.
dumb.
It's not that great.
So San Andreas is not here, even if I have the hot coffee mod installed, I guess, or I mean.
You're probably going to get suspended anyway if you put the hot coffee mod on, let's be frank.
Okay, right, yeah, okay.
It's I guess it's the same thing as saying, well, we're going to ban Skyrim because you can have all naked characters if you mod the game. I guess they're only banning games where it's by default got this content in it, not when you mod it. So, and then I guess the other rules are just kind of standard. Look, you can't stream excessive nudity, you can't stream so on and so forth. So if you mod your Skyrim where everyone's naked and has gigantic dongs, then you're probably getting kicked off.
Right, okay. It's just some basic common sense. I like that. Now that this page is here, if this had been a part of the, like an initial press release.
That should have been part of the initial press release. Yeah.
Yeah. Then this would be very respectable.
Yeah, they could have handled it better. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's before Dodger strangles us. Let's go to releases.
Okay. Today, May 28th, we have Serpents in the Staglands for PC.
The what?
Mm-hmm.
The what?
Serpents and in the Staglands.
It is a 90s CRPG, apparently, and it was kickstarted by Well Naught Studios. There's your answer. Next.
Hills of Glory 3D for PC.
Why are we still calling things 3D? Like, I thought that was kind of, a default situation for most things.
Maybe it's actual 3D.
It's not. I just went on there. It's a reverse tower defense game, and it's a port from Android, so I wouldn't expect anything too incredible.
Sleep Attack for PC.
Okay.
That's weird.
Sleep
It's
Attack.
an oddly named game.
It is. I'm trying to actually find it. Oh, here it is. It's got a cool logo with some weird aliens. It's another tower defense game. But the art style is really good.
Yeah, I like the big three-eyed guy.
That art style is actually fucking great. Like, it's got this really nice, wacky cartoon art style. I mean, it's a tower defense game, so obviously they're a dime a dozen, but the art style's cool. I'll give them that.
Homesick for PC.
Homesick.
Was this I know this was a Kickstarter game. It looked great. Did it actually end up great?
Oh, it's got one of those logos with the thin font, which means it's going to involve a lot of introspection. I can guarantee
it's supposed to be like it's
puzzle
a
exploration mystery game. I mean, graphically, it looks incredible. Like, it's a really impressive looking game. You run around with an axe at some point for some reason.
And weird goo comes out of the ground and attacks you.
Oh, yep.
Interesting.
What?
Okay. A lot of positive reviews for that in early access too.
Graphics on that ruined bathroom is just beautiful. It's breathtaking.
Oh my god, yeah.
I feel like I could just reach right in there and take a dump.
Well.
Yep.
Next.
Next is Flame Over for PC.
Actually, the next is Airport Madness.
Oh,
World
Airport
Edition.
Madness World Edition. Sorry, for PC.
Fancy. Airport Madness. It is an airport strategy game designed by real air traffic controllers. Fuck that. I couldn't deal with the stress. No. But that's what it is. You control an airport and you try and make people not die.
Perfect. And then Flame Over for PC.
If I recall correctly, I thought I saw this on NerdCube's channel. It's a firefighting roguelike.
Yeah.
It's a top-down squirt 'em up.
Before.
Have we?
Yeah, this is a game we talked about being released before in some way. Yeah.
Home Improvisation for PC.
That's the IKEA game that everyone and their brother played like 4 months ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Chips Challenge 1 and 2 for PC.
Oh, are they actually charging for that? Wasn't that free at one point? Good old Chips Challenge. Yeah, that game's a little bit old to justify me buying it, I think. No, let's not.
Armed with Wings Rearmed for PC.
That is the worst title I've heard all day. Armed with Wings Rearmed. Can you not come up with anything better than that?
It's kind of cool looking.
I mean,
What is it?
it's a sort of side-scrolling combat game by the looks of it, but it's in black and white. It's got a really interesting art style to it, but the name of that game is just terrible. It's coming out in early access in about an hour. Supposedly.
Toy Wars Invasion for PC.
Wasn't that the... No, it's not the same. I thought that was an iOS game by Uber. It's not. It is... Actually, it appears to be some kind of, like, third-person combat game, but with toys.
All right.
Yep, pretty much.
And then Stargazer for PC.
Okay.
This was a green light game. It looks like just a top-down RPG, sort of in a SNES style.
Yes. It actually looks like it was made with RPG Maker. In fact, it probably was. Yeah, if it wasn't, it looks like it was. All right.
Well, moving on to Friday, aka May 29th, we've got, of course, Splatoon for Wii U.
It's pretty much the big release of the week, isn't it? Yeah.
So many squirting jokes to be had.
Can I
Make me proud.
say I got to play in the test fires? And did anybody else play in the test fire at all?
No.
I watched other people play.
I thought the game was going to turn out being way overhyped. And it's actually really, really fun. Like, I was hoping that it would turn out to be good. The test fire, I hope, was only a fraction of what's available in the game because it did not have a lot of depth and it did not have a lot of customization. The controller was just way, way too powerful. But, man, I can't wait to play that for legit tomorrow. It's so much fun. Yeah, so good.
It does look good.
Legend of K Anniversary for Wii U, PS4, and PC.
I remember Legend of K. That was actually pretty good. You played a cat and you were fighting shit with a sword. It was kind of good. And there's also a giant angry boar in there at some point. I actually might play that because I'm pretty sure I played it way back in the day on PS2 and it was actually a fun game. So I might give that a shot.
Tiamat X for PC.
It's a side-scrolling shmup is what that is.
Ongaku for PC.
Ooh.
It is a side-scrolling 2D rhythm game with stylized artwork, apparently.
Yes. Archelome 3D for PC.
Archelome 3D. That is a 3D shmup. By a company with the worst logo in history, Dream Softcore, I believe, is the name of them. No, sorry, Dream Soft Games. My apologies, I misread that completely. Dream Soft Games.
Oh man,
their
Dream
logo's
Softcore
still
is
terrible.
so good.
No, yeah, it's a shmup. Another one.
Intergalactic Bubbles for PC.
It's a bubble game.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
It actually is. It's a 3D bubble shooter. Hang on, is this? Wait a minute. This is just fucking Bubble. This is it's just Buster Move with a slight angle on it. It's Buster Move in space. Okay.
Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2 for PC.
JRPG.
What?
Yeah, Anime Girls.
Anime
Girls Forever.
Yeah, Anime Girl JRPG. Uh-huh.
Pillar for PC.
A lot of PC games coming out. Holy crap.
Yeah,
it's going to make my job a whole lot harder. At least I'm not going to be lacking for content. It is... It's a top-down puzzle game, by the looks of it.
Agapan for PC.
Agapan. 2D story and exploration game taking place in a mysterious and ominous setting.
Oh.
Yes. Also
Flicks
looks
the
like it was made with
Flea.
RPG Maker, oddly enough.
Oh, perfect. Flicks the Flea for PC.
One assumes it's about a flea called
I
Flicks.
assume
Flits?
so, right?
Inspired by 8-bit classics. Oh god, not another one.
Yes.
It's a platformer. You play a flea.
Cool. Perfect. The Silent Age for PC.
That was a point and click that was on mobile first.
Okay,
It was and now it's being ported to Steam.
fair enough. Was it any good, do you know? Did you get a chance to play it?
I have no clue. All I know is that I saw it existed on my app store.
Okay, fair enough.
So I couldn't tell you anything about it other than that.
Horizon Shift for PC.
It's a top-down, shoot-'em-up, Geometry Wars / Space Invaders kind of thing. Score attack, by the looks of it.
Cool. The Fruit of Grisea for PC.
Looks like it's a visual novel. Anime. Yep, it is.
Gynophobia
What?
for PC.
What?
It is a horror shooter about an abnormal fear of women. Using
Interesting.
classic first-person shooter gameplay, suffering from different phobias, including a phobia of women. What?
All
Yeah,
right.
it definitely.
The screenshots for this are insane. What is this game?
I'm watching the trailer, and it looks like it looks like the original Soldier of Fortune crossed with this weird What? Oh my, you've got to watch the trailer for this yourself. This is fucking very, very strange.
This is.
I think
What?
Twitch is going to be banning this game in a minute. Oh my god. Right, okay. I don't know what to tell you about that one. You've got to go and look at the
Oh,
trailer.
there's a hot spider chick.
That is fucked up.
The best part is at the end of the trailer, it's just a girl with giant boobs looking like you're looking at through a keyhole, and she just
she
looks
like-
at you like.
Yeah.
And she like
And the
vibrates
screen
for a
kind of
second,
shakes.
too.
I'm like, what the
No, Jesse, the screen doesn't
Yeah.
shake. She
She
shakes.
vibrates, yeah.
That's her.
And she's
Oh my
on a
God.
float or something. Oh, I want to see it. I want to see that so badly. Oh no.
Well, you can play it very soon.
That looks so bad.
Next.
Oh man. All right. So next is Artifact Adventure for PC.
It's old school style top-down RPG.
And then Gao Kao Love 1000 Days for
Visual
PC.
novel. Another one.
Alter World for PC.
2D platformer inspired by Stephen King's The Dark Tower in some way. Not really sure how
Oh.
that is, but hey.
What was this called?
Alter
again?
World.
Alter World.
I will go to there. That's my favorite thing in the world.
Next.
All right, and then June 1st, we've got Hatred for
Yeah,
PC.
of course.
Which we talked
Yep,
about
I think
ad
we all know what
nauseam.
that's all about.
Dungeon Crawlers HD for PC.
I'll give you one goddamn fucking guess what game that's all about.
Whoa, what? Waste Walkers for PC.
It's
was
probably
a
not
Greenlight
about
game.
garbage collection.
No, it's like it looks like it's kind of made an RPG Maker too.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic RPG that again looks like it's made an RPG Maker. Yeah, certainly. God, the amount of RPG Maker games that get on Steam these days is getting beyond a joke.
Hey, some people make real good shit there.
They do. That is true. Most of them do it for free, admittedly.
Yeah. UFHO2 for PC.
It is a kind of competitive puzzle game involving like rotating hexes and things around. Like it's sort of a mixture between a strategy and a board game. And there's aliens in it because there is, of course.
This Starry Midnight We Make for PC.
It's
Sounds like a visual novel.
possibly a visual novel. It is a visual. Is it?
Looks like you create
Yes.
night
Ish.
skies.
No, it's not a visual novel at all.
Yeah, it's like a sciencey visual novel.
It's just got anime in it for some reason. It is a celestial growth simulation game where you create celestial objects using the mysterious star-seeing basin. Okay. Well then. That's a game.
Sparkle 2 for PC.
This is kind of the last one, isn't it? Because, oh no, there's a few more. Never mind. Sparkle 2, that looks like a ripoff of Luxor. That puzzle game with the balls that kind of rolled around it as a kind of like colored snake thing. I know my mother used to play a bunch of that game.
And then finally, we've got Scribble Space for PC.
Scribble Space is a game where you fly around as a little scribble and you fight other scribbles in sort of like one of those space shooter game things.
Okay.
But it's like scribbles, like some kids' scribbles. So you fight everything from pencils to bees to whatever little kid could scribble up.
Because of course you do.
Yeah, of course.
There are a few
And that's it.
others. Are there?
That's
Yeah,
it.
I guess
Up
that
until
actually takes us to
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. All right then. Well, that's that.
Yay.
Thanks for watching the podcast. We very much appreciate it. But before we go, we would like to plug whatever it is we have to plug. Why don't we start with our guest, Boogie? What's coming up on the channel this week, and where can we find you?
You can always find me at youtube.com/Boogie Boogie2988, or here on Twitch at twitch.com/Boogie2988. We're going to be doing a lot more Witcher 3. I do dabble with H1Z1. I dabble with whatever game is hot as well. I'm a variety streamer. YouTube, I've been doing that series about being heavier, and the gaming news, and we've been doing a lot of different stuff over there. I think you'd like it. Yeah, I'm definitely a vlogger, so know if you're coming there, expect vlogging about games rather than gameplay. But I think
I'm unsubscribing immediately. Do what I want you to do.
I'm sorry.
Do it. I'm the only one that matters.
I'm sorry. But yes, please come check me out. I love you guys already. Thanks for letting me talk to you here today. It was awesome.
Cool. Jesse.
Hi, I don't really want to say much. Just come to my channel, youtube.com/JesseCox. There's videos there. I have to go, so I love you guys, and you're wonderful.
Yes,
so
you do actually have to run, so by all means.
Yeah.
Dodger, what's going on with the channel this week?
Hi guys, I'm Dodger. I've got a channel, youtube.com/pressRedToContinue. I play butt-touching games, visual novels, gaming, dating sims, things like that. And I just did a video on banning, all of the different ways that companies are trying to utilize banning and warning systems. So if that sounds like it would be interesting to you, it's a little different from what I normally do, but that video's been doing well, which makes me happy.
Cool.
And then I also have twitch.tv/dexterity bonus. I try to stream like at least 3 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on what's going on. And on all the social medias, I'm at dexbonus, DEXBONUS. So come hang out. Thanks for watching.
Cool. Yep. Before I go, I'd like to remind people that my shirt is going to be on sale for the next few days only. It's getting to the point where we will be taking it off sale, so if you do want to check it out, head over to shop.maker.tv. You'll find it right there. That's shop.maker.tv. The House Biscuit shirt and House Biscuit bundle is available only for the next 4 or so days, at which point it will be taken off sale forever. So you will not be able to get it anymore. So please do go check that out. We're offering free shipping in the US for the shirt and the bundle, and I believe flat rate shipping for the shirt and the bundle for the rest of the world. So please do go check that out. It is available until June the 1st, which is in 4 days' time. So please mush, 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 mush. If you do wish to pick that up, now is the only time you're going to be able to do that. Outside of that, youtube.com/cynicalbrit for all my content. I do have... I'll probably be doing a hatred video either for tomorrow or Saturday, most likely. So I'll tell you whether or not that game's actually worth your time. Probably won't be, I'm going to be frank, but we'll give it a shot anyway. See what I did there? Give it a shot. It's clever. It's a pun, you see. Outside of that, there's videos on Carmageddon, there's videos on Chroma Squad this week, and there's also, if I recall correctly, a video on Invisible Ink. And if you check out my StarCraft channel, youtube.com/TotalBiscuit, you'll be able to see Shoutcraft Clan Wars. The latest one is up. That's Axiom taking on Prime. You can go watch those spoiler-free over at youtube.com/TotalBiscuit. As to whether or not we're doing a lounge this week, probably not Friday. We'll see if there's anything on the weekend. Maybe we can get something done, but I'm not promising anything at the moment. Lounge kind of happens, when we can, so we apologize for that. It's not really on a regular schedule. It's just kind of what we're up for at the time. So we will let you know. Follow our Twitter feed. Those who made the mistake of not seeing the show this week because they weren't following Twitter, do please follow the Twitter. Even if you don't have Twitter, you could just go to our Twitter pages. We always tell you when the show's going to be. So we did have to move the show this week because of Jesse's international travel and the fact that he's having to run off to Blizzard now, I think, or something along those lines. Yep. So we had to move the show time. That's just how it is. Yeah, we have to change the time of the live show sometimes. We always get the VOD up on time for people that do miss it. So if you missed any of this show, it will be up on the YouTube channel shortly. If you're already watching it on the YouTube channel, then this entire thing was completely and totally pointless. Regardless, thank you very much for watching, folks. Big thanks to our special guest, Boogie2988, for coming on the show today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks, Boogie.
Loved it.
Thank you,
Boogie.
Boogie.
Loved it. Thank you. We'll do it again soon.
Thanks for sticking around till the end, because Jesse sure as hell didn't, because he's a slacker. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Big thanks to our sponsor, Crunchyroll.com/TotalBiscuit for this week's episode, and we'll see you next time. Good night.